Mtazamaji, tarehe 25 mwezi Aprili mwaka 2024. Karibu kwenye taarifa zetu za NTV jioni. Tuangazie yote ambayo yanagonga vichwa vya habari katika sehemu tofauti za humu nchini. Lakini kwanza kabisa tupate yaliyopo. Idara ya utabiri wa hali ya hewa yatoa tahadhari ya mvua kubwa kuendelea kunya katika muda wa siku 3 zijazo, huku mamia ya watu wakiwachwa bila makao na mafuriko.
Started the process of compensating farmers who bought Kel Green fertilizer. They should come with a national ID because already we have the database.
Wakulima waliouziwa mbolea feki na NCPB kuanza kufidiwa na serikali.
Now that we have the meeting rooms, Parliament does not now need money to go to hotels.
Sasa hiyo comfort nimeona pale, mkae hapo Friday, mteremuke mashinani. Hapo ndio maneno iko.
Rais William Ruto awataka wabunge kukoma mikutano kwenye hoteli na badala yake kutumia jengo jipya la bunge kutekeleza majukumu yao.
Kama ingekaa muda tena kidogo, wote wangeisha.
Na Wilson Lemkut ni shujaa huko Baringo baada ya kuokoa watoto 16 nusra wafemaji katika mkasa wa boti ziwa Baringo.
Hii ni NTV jioni na Frida Mwaka.
Karibu kwa taarifa kamili. Mfasiri wa lugha ishara ni Flora Atieno. Rais William Ruto leo ameongoza kikao cha dharura cha wadau wote husika katika kabiliana na mafuriko yanaendelea kote nchini ili kutenga mikakati ya kabiliana nayo, na watu zaidi ya 1000 wameachwa bila makao hapo jana na wengine zaidi ya 10 wakipoteza maisha. Mwanahabari wetu Fatma Bugu analikunjua jamvi.
Utabiri wa hali ya hewa imetoa tahadhari kwamba mvua kubwa itaendelea kunya katika sehemu mbalimbali za taifa katika muda wa siku 3 zijazo, ila makali yake yataanza kupungua tarehe 28 Aprili. Katika kikao maalum na washikadau husika hii leo, rais amesisitiza kuwa serikali itawashurutisha wakazi walio katika maeneo hatari ya mafuriko kuhama, akitaja kuwa wizara husika mipango maalum inakusanya vyakula na bidhaa nyingine zitakazogawiwa waathiriwa wa mafuriko.
There are citizens living in very dangerous places, and those are the most vulnerable at this point.
Akisema hayo rais, athari za mvua ya jana zinaendelea kuhisiwa. Shughuli za usafiri wa reli kutoka Nairobi hadi Kisumu huenda zikiendelea kutatizwa baada ya mporomoko wa ardhi kushuhudiwa katika eneo la Thogoto, eneo bunge la Kikuyu, kaunti ya Kiambu.
Hakuna mambo ya drainage imewekwa mzuri sana. Ndio unakuta maji imekuwa diverted, inaingia mahali ambapo haistahili kuingia.
Taswira halisi ya gharika la mafuriko lililosomba maboma ya watu na kuwaacha bila makao kuanzia Mathare na sehemu nyingine jijini Nairobi. Maeneo mengi yangali yamefurika huku baadhi ya barabara zikikosa kupitika.
Tumelala kwa maji, hakuna maji tunaweza kaa, hakuna chochote tunaweza kwa.
We'll apply all the required resources in terms of money and personnel to make sure that lives are not lost.
Mbunge wa Kiharu Ndindi Nyoro anasema serikali itatumia mgao wa dharura uliopo ili kukabiliana na makali ya mafuriko.
Katika budget making process ya kitu inaitwa article 223, wakati nchi imepatwa na janga kama ya mafuriko, hata serikali inaweza tumia pesa waulize approval baadaye, kwa sababu maisha ya Wakenya na welfare ya Wakenya iko juu zaidi.
Kwa sasa naibu rais amesema kituo cha kukabiliana na dharura kitakuwa katika jumba la Nyayo House chini ya Wizara ya Usalama wa Ndani. Fatma Bugu, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, serikali imeamuru kwamba wakulima waliouziwa mbolea gushi na NCPB wafidiwa kwa kupewa mbolea mbadala. Hata hivyo, kuna baadhi ya maswali ambayo yanaibuka kama vile bajeti inayotumiwa kugharamia mbolea hiyo, na mbona serikali ikaamua kujitwika jukumu hilo ilhali kampuni iliyopewa kandarasi ya kuagiza mbolea ilikuwa ni ya kibinafsi. Mwanahabari wetu Gabriel Kudaka na mengi.
Baadhi ya wakulima kutoka eneo la Tinderet, kaunti ya Nandi, wanakagua mahindi yao baada ya upanzi kwa kutumia mbolea ya ruzuku ya serikali. Wanahofia kwamba huenda wasipate mazao bora baada ya mimea yao kubadilisha rangi.
Kuna hii mahindi yetu nyingine imekatalia chini, haijasonga, hata iko na papo kala, na ukiangalia haina afya hata kidogo. It's like hiyo mbolea ilikuwa totally fake, sababu haijasaidia mimea yetu. Na naona ni kama tutakuwa na hasara.
Hata mali tumepanda mahindi yenye iko tulitumia mbolea tofauti na hii. Mahindi imefanya vizuri. Na hii yenye tulitumia na hii Kel Green, hii ndio imefanya mbaya sana.
Na maombi yao yameonekana kujibiwa baada ya serikali kuagiza kwamba walioathirika wafidiwe.
Started the process of compensating farmers who bought Kel Green fertilizer. For those farmers who used the fertilizer, we replaced it with a top dressing fertilizer.
NCPB imeshauri wakulima walioathirika kutembelea magala yao ili kubadilishiwa mbolea, na kufikia sasa gunia za mbolea 682 zimebadilishwa.
They should come with the national ID, yeah. Because already we have the database and all the details. Just the farmer comes with the ID just for confirmation and verification only.
Na huku haya yakijiri, kampuni inayohusishwa na usambazaji wa mbolea gushi KEL Chemicals inataka DCI kuchunguza waziri wa kilimo Mithika Linturi pamoja na mkurugenzi mkuu wa NCPB Joseph Kimote kuhusu kuhusika kwao katika sakata hiyo. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, hayo ya kijiri, vifo vya kiholela pamoja na watu kuokotwa na kupotezwa na serikali bila idhini yao vinasalia kuwa kizingiti kikubwa katika kuafikia ubora wa haki za kibinadamu nchini Kenya. Haya yalijitokeza katika ripoti ya Amnesty International ya mwaka uliopita kuhusu hali ya ukiukaji wa haki za kibinadamu nchini, na imeweza kung'amuliwa kwamba watu 136 waliuawa na wengine 10 kupotea kutokana na ukiukaji wa haki za kibinadamu. Hali kadhalika, ripoti hiyo inasema haki za kujieleza na kukusanyika zilibanwa na serikali ya Kenya Kwanza katika mwaka wao wa kwanza uongozini.
The issue of, for example, extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances, while we've seen a decline in the number, we are still seeing cases, and therefore there is a lot more that we can do to, first of all, strengthen our laws against enforced disappearances, sign the International Convention on Enforced Disappearances, and that's one issue.
Na kwa taarifa Tanzania kwamba afisa wa KDF Sajini Rose Nyawira ambaye alifariki katika ajali ya ndege pamoja na wenzake 9 amezikwa hii leo nyumbani kwao katika eneo la Kagio, kaunti ya Kirinyaga. Nyawira aliyejiunga na KDF mwaka 2018 alikuwa mpiga picha stadi wa marehemu mkuu wa majeshi ya ulinzi Jenerali Francis Ogola. Margaret Kimathi na mengi.
Mizinga 19 ilikuwa ishara ya saluti ya mwisho kwa Sajini Rose Nyawira aliyehudumu kama afisa wa KDF kwa miaka 6. Maziko yake yalihudhuriwa na baadhi ya viongozi, wakaazi na familia.
You are gone. Gone forever. No more conversations and family time together. My heart is broken.
Hisia zilionekana kwenye nyuso za familia hii, huku akimpa mkono wa buriani mwanao ambaye alikuwa na umri wa miaka 31.
For the period Sergeant Rose Nyawira Wachira served the Kenya Air Force, she proved to be dedicated and industrious member of Defence Forces. Her untimely death will no doubt be felt by both members of your family.
Kaunti ya Kirinyaga ilipoteza maafisa wawili katika ajali mbaya iliyotokea Alhamisi Aprili 18, eneo la Sindar, kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet. Afisa mwingine Sajini mwandamizi John Kenywa atazikwa Ijumaa Aprili 26 mwaka huu katika eneo la Kiremunge, kaunti ndogo ya Kirinyaga ya kati.
Our soldiers that have been there, they have represented us well. They have been great people. We pay respect and we love their parents for allowing them to go and defend our country.
To the family, we pray for the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, to guard your hearts and your minds during this very difficult time.
Nyawira aliombolezwa kama mwenye furaha, mchapakazi na mtulivu. Ameacha nyuma mwanawe wa kiume. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, tunasema makiwa lala pema shujaa. Rais William Ruto ameutaka uongozi wa bunge kupunguza bajeti yao ya matumizi katika mwaka ujao wa fedha baada ya kuzinduliwa kwa jumba la Bunge Towers la thamani ya shilingi bilioni 9. Rais amesema kuwa sasa hawatahitaji mamilioni ya pesa kufanya mikutano katika mahoteli, na rais anasema Wakenya lazima wapate faida kutoka kwa uwekezaji huo kupitia utendakazi bora, uwakilishi, utunzi wa sheria na uangalizi. Mwanahabari wetu wa masuala ya siasa Vincent Odwor anaeleza zaidi.
Jengo hili la Bunge Towers litakuwa na ofisi za wabunge, meko, eneo la mazoezi na vistawishi vingine. Na kwa hilo Rais Ruto anataka mikutano yote inayowahusisha wabunge kufanyika humu.
Now that we have all the facilities here, the meeting rooms, committee meeting rooms, I hope I will see a significant drop, Mr. Speaker, in the budget of Parliament. As you appropriate the next budget, just remember that Parliament does not now need money to go to hotels, and therefore the budget should come down.
Jumba hilo limegharimu shilingi bilioni 9.6 za mlipa ushuru.
We expect, and the people of Kenya expect, world-class representation, world-class legislation, world-class oversight. It should be a symbol of our sense of public duty, constitutional obligation, national values and devotion to the national interest.
Hiyo comfort nimeona pale, mkaekae hapo Friday mteremuke mashinani. Hapo ndio maneno iko. So as you spend more time here, muende mashinani mfanye kazi.
Baadhi ya wabunge wamekuwa wakilalamika kuwa mradi huo ni duni na haujafikia kiwango cha gharama yake. Lakini spika wa bunge la kitaifa Moses Wetangula amepuuzilia mbali wasiwasi huo.
And many others who have been saying many things. This building is here. We will use it.
Wabunge ambao hawatapata afisi katika jumba la Bunge Towers watatengewa afisi katika jumba la Continental baada ya kufanyiwa marekebisho. Vincent Odur, NTV, Nairobi.
Mtazamaji, zungumza nami katika mitandao ya kijamii, uniambie unajihisi vipi kuhusiana na Bunge Towers. Nachukua mapumziko mafupi, narudi na mengi, usiende mbali. Salia papa hapa ndani ya NTV jioni.
Prudential is now on M-Pesa app. Get a cancer cover from as low as 750 bob per month. Na pia, ukiwa admitted Hosi, unapata chapa daily. For each day hauko hustle, for as low as 1,250 bob per month. Unangoja nini? Prudential is now on M-Pesa app. Visit today na ujipange na life.
Furahia maisha bora, linda jamii yako, linda biashara yako. Chukua bima leo. Tuna bima ya maisha, afya na ajali, mali hata elimu. Chukua bima leo. Tuna bima ya maisha, afya na ajali, mali hata elimu. Chukua bima leo. Bima bora kwa taifa.
Nilikutengenezea kitu.
From different worlds, come a trio with a shared destiny.
Nikulinde na ikuongoze.
Where will the fashion runway take them?
Mimi nitachunga maua yetu vizuri sana hadi wewe narudi.
Family businesses, everything.
The beauty and the beats. Shanga, starting 25 April at 8 p.m. on Maisha Magic Plus.
If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs?
everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy Guru Special Basmati Rice 5 kg at 945 shillings. Carrefour Vegetable Oil 5 liters at 999 shillings. Fresh chicken leg bone in 5 kg at 599 shillings. Onion red at 165 shillings. Higher Android TV 43 at 26995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Crazy offers. Save up to 180 bob. Buy now at a store near you.
Next time, please, don't visit me without letting me know. It's too dangerous for you to be here.
You're unbelievable, JC. You're softening up.
They are still my
Your
parents.
parents who lied to your face as a kid, and not just you, JC, but your brother too. Have you forgotten that?
I hear it was quite the operation against Nestor Almazan. Congratulations.
It's too early to congratulate us, Ulysses. We still haven't caught the head of the syndicate, the real leader of them all, because it wasn't Nestor.
So where will you go after this?
I'm just about to text my friend. Where will you go?
I'm just going to wait for my husband right here. He's going to pick me up. My husband's arrived.
Fists of fate.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the hot bud? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Karibu tena mtazamaji, tuendelee na taarifa zetu. Huku mgomo wa madaktari ukiingia siku ya 44, Wakenya mbalimbali bado wanaendelea kuteseka kufuatia ukosefu wa huduma za madaktari katika hospitali za umma. Haya yanajiri huku kaunti sasa zikitafuta mbinu mwafaka za kutoa huduma. Mwanahabari wetu Helen Aura na mengi.
Katika hospitali ya rufaa ya Kiambu, taswira imebadilika kidogo, japokuwa wagonjwa sio wengi. Kuna wale bado wanakuja hospitalini kupata matibabu.
Nimeleta watoto wangu kutibiwa, nimehudumiwa vizuri. Wadaktari si wengi, sile manani nilikuwa nakuta, lakini nimehudumiwa.
Nimeleta kijana wangu, nilikuwa nahofia kwamba hatutatibiwa venye kuna mgomo, lakini tumekuja, tumehudumiwa vizuri.
Huku hospitali hiyo ikitoa huduma za wagonjwa wasio wa kulazwa, bado wagonjwa wanaougua magonjwa sugu wanahangaika. Katika hospitali ya rufaa ya kaunti ya Nakuru, wagonjwa pia walionekana wamejitokeza kwa idadi zaidi ikilinganishwa na ya awali wakati mgomo ulianza. Inadaiwa huduma chache tu ndizo zinaendelea kutolewa katika hospitali hii.
Nimekuja kwa 30 minutes ago. Nilikuwa na pain. So nilipata madaktari wa bado hapo. Nimesaidika juu. At least pain imeisha.
Nilikuja asubuhi na nimehudumiwa. Nimetumwa lab, nikaambiwa before test zitoke kwanza nidungwe sindano ya uchungu. Maana niko na maumivu makali ya mgongo. Lakini nimehudumiwa vizuri.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, hii ni simulizi iliyojaa ushujaa. Simulizi ya Wilson Lemkut aliyookoa watoto 16 nusra wafe maji katika mkasa wa boti huko Ziwa Baringo. Tukio hili la ujasiri linajiri katika kipindi ambacho huzuni imetanda maeneo ya Baringo baada ya watu 7 kufariki katika mkasa huo. Laban Shaban anaarifu.
Wakati jamii inayoishi ufuoni mwa Ziwa Baringo inaendelea kusikitikia maafa ya watu 7 ziwani, ujasiri wa mwanaume mmoja umekuwa mnara wa matumaini. Shujaa huyu ni Wilson Lemkut, baba wa watoto 12 na mkazi wa kisiwa cha Kokwa. Anashangiliwa kwa kuokoa maisha ya watoto 16 kutoka kwa boti lililozama majini. Mkasa uliponukia baada ya mbiu ya kuomba msaada kusikika ziwani, Lemkut bila kusitasita alijikita katika harakati ya kukabiliana na mawimbi hatari ya maji.
Kijana yangu mdogo akakuja akanipata nyumbani, akaniambia ndio ile boat, kuna boat imezama na inaonekana kuna watu. Hapo ndio nilitoka nyumbani, ndio nikaenda moja kwa moja mpaka kwa boat.
Mawimbi makali yalikuwa na hasira, lakini Lemkut pamoja na wanawe wawili walisikia unyende na kupiga moyo konde kuanza uokozi.
Sasa ikabidi tuwashike, nilikuwa na wenzangu, tuwashike mkono na tuweke ndani ya boat moja kwa moja, na yule ambaye anaweza hako na nguvu anaruka yeye mwenyewe kutoka kwa ile boat mpaka kwa hii boat nyingine.
Hapa saa zilikuwa ni chache na mambo bila shaka yalikuwa mengi, ila wajibu ulikuwa kuenda upesi, wasichelewe hata nukta moja. Licha ya uzani wa boti kuongezeka na mawimbi makali kuvuma, Lemkut aliendelea kujitahidi bila kufa moyo kuokoa mioyo ya wengine.
Kama si mimi na wenzangu, maisha ya hao watoto wengine ingepotea. Kwa hivyo mimi kwa roho yangu mimi nafurahi sababu nimeokoa hawa watoto wenye tumepata.
Kwa hakika ilimchukua robo saa kutoka kisiwani na kufika eneo la mkasa, na ikamgharimu nusu saa kuwakomboa wote na kuwarejesha ufuoni. Lakini nukta chache baadaye, tukio la kuwatua moyo lilitukia. Mvulana mwenye umri wa miaka 17 alikata roho pindi tu alipofika ufukweni. Yote 9, 10 ni kwamba Lemkut alisimama kidete alipohitajika licha ya kukumbana na panda shuka hatari. Tukio hili linachora taswira ya watu wa kawaida wanaoibuka katika matukio yasiyo ya kawaida na kuwa mashujaa. Laban Shaban, NTV.
Tunasema kongole kwa shujaa huyo. Aliyekuwa jaji mkuu David Maraga ametoa wito kwa kesi zote zinazohusiana na ufisadi kufanyika katika kitengo cha kupambana na ufisadi cha Mahakama Kuu ili kulainisha uendeshaji wa kesi hizo. Maraga aliyekuwa akizungumza katika warsha katika Tume ya Maadili na Kupambana na Ufisadi EACC na wanahabari amesema kuwa hilo litasaidia kurahisisha kazi ya jaji anayesikiza kesi hiyo na kufupisha muda wa kutoa uamuzi.
Is a governor in Malindi. He's charged. Maybe the investigators went to Malindi to question him, and then from there you hear he has gone to Migori to get an order from there. I mean, what does that tell you? So, and that's what I was saying, that it is actually unfair to the judges hearing that, and they themselves should tell those people to go to the anti-corruption division of the High Court.
Crime does not expire. The message we are passing to the public here is that we are overwhelmed with the number of cases that we are investigating. And this is a message that the current governors, ni endeleeni kuiba, but pole will get hold of you.
These are professionals who are supposed to ensure that everything is done according to the law, everything is done well. How we find billions being lost within an entity, county government, and their lawyers there, their procurement experts there, their accountants there, what are they doing? They are colluding with these people in order to siphon public resources.
Tuchukue mapumziko mafupi, tunarudi na mengi hasa kwenye dawati la spoti.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Nivea Black and White deodorant protects me and my favorite outfits. That's why I feel confident and free with 5 times anti-formula. I stay fresh and protected for 48 hours and my clothes stay stain-free. World's #1 anti-stain deodorant from Nivea. Try it. Nivea's 5 times anti-action formula and 48-hour protection is also available for men.
protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The Power Duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
It ain't easy to be tough, to stand tall when your legs are about to give up. But being tough is the only option. I am a toughie.
Bata Toughies. Durable and comfortable shoes to match your inner toughness.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash, Cash Reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
There is where you are and there is where you want to be. It takes a professional to make you one of the great professionals of tomorrow. Can we define these professionals? They are inspirational. Professionals that attain world-class skills in nursing, counseling and physiotherapy. Professionals of young minds with big and revolutionary ideas. Professionals that attain first-class skills in community health, clinical medicine and medical laboratory. Professionals of excellence in imaging science, human nutrition and dietetics. Join us today and become a professional. Thika School of Medical and Health Sciences. Nurturing professional excellence.
Makinika sasa tudunde nyugani haraka upesi. Ni Yoshua Makori. Mashindano ya vio vya kutoa mafunzo ya matibabu humu nchini KMTC katika bonde la Ufa yaliingia siku yake ya 3 hii leo katika uwanja wa chuo kikuu cha Koitalel Mosorioti, kaunti ya Nandi, huku timu ya kandanda ya Lodwar ikiweka miadi ya kukutana na Kabarnet katika fainali.
The ones who will win from the Sono competition will be now taken to the national competition, which will take place in August. The sports event in this Zone 5 has come out nicely. The students are enjoying, everyone is enjoying. We have no problems so far, and we are doing well as a zone.
Tusalie Nandi na ni kwamba KAPU-CC ndio mabingwa makala ya mwaka huu ya riadha baina ya kambi za wanariadha walio chini ya umri ya miaka 20 iliyofanyika katika uwanja wa Eliud Kipchoge Complex mjini Kapsabet, kaunti ya Nandi. KAPU-CC ilitamba baada ya kuandikisha alama 220 na kufuatiwa katika nafasi ya pili na timu ya All Running iliyozoa alama 188. Timu ya Ndurio Sports Complex iliridhika na nambari 3 na alama 116. Mashindano haya yanasaidia kuwakuza wanariadha wanaoibuka nchini.
Tuliona ni heri tukuje kama pia wanawake ili tumotivate wasichana waanze wafanye vizuri katika mbio ambazo tunaona tumerudi nyuma ni mbio kama 800.
Ukumbi huu upande wetu wa na baada ya kupona jeraha la muda mrefu, mwanasketi Andrew Mtuta anadhamiria kurejelea ubora wake na kuiwakilisha Kenya katika mashindano ya kimataifa na kushinda nishani. Mtuta ndiye anatupambia makala yetu ya Jungu Kuu la Spoti. Andrew Mtuta ambaye ni mzaliwa wa Novemba 28 mwaka 1999 mjini Thika, kaunti ya Kiambu, amekuwa akiota kufanya mambo makuu katika ulimwengu wa mchezo wa sketi maarufu kama skating. Nyota huyu mwenye umri wa miaka 28 alishinda raundi ya pili ya mashindano ya Afrika Mashariki yaliyofanyika hapa jijini Nairobi.
siona umekaribia kushinda hivi lakini nasikia kuacha. So hapo ndo unajua limits zako na unajua kujipush. Actually ni usaidizi wa timu yangu ambayo iko hapa nyuma. Direction za timu wangu mimi mostly usikiza teammates wangu na coach wangu. Usiposikiza hao wewe kwa timu tu uko hapo tu kwa sababu ya jina.
Na hapa ndipo aliweka bayana kurejea kwake kushiriki mashindano mbalimbali ndani na nje ya nchi baada ya kupona jeraha alilouguza kwa miezi 8.
Ndio nimeanza sasa. Nasikia sasa nimeanza. Hata kama tumepitia mengi, ilikuwa nimeumia kidogo, kaenda break ya 8 months. Haijakuwa rahisi. Na vile tu nimesema kama uko na teammates au ndio brothers zako, nashukuru sana timu yangu ya sprint. Ilikaa na mimi chini, mawaidha, kunipeleka hospitali pia na wazazi kunisaidia. Kwa wote wenye walinisaidia nikafika mahali nimefika hapa saa hii. Ushindi wangu wa kwanza ndio umeanza. Naomba sana tuanze hapa na pale nje ya country pia. Sasa niko ready sana.
Mtuta alipata jeraha akiwa mazoezini.
Nikiumia pia nilikuwa harakati ya zoezi. Nilianguka nikavunjika mguu ambapo niliwekwa plate.
Sasa anamuomba waziri Ababu Namwamba kuwashughulikia wanasketi angaa kupata mahali pa kufanyia mazoezi yao.
Kwa mahali tunapofanyia zoezi unapata tunafanyia kwa barabara, saa ingine wenye wanajua mahali tunaweza jaribu. Sasa hatuna mahali pa kutrainia actually. Hapa natafuta mahali panapakiwa magari na hapo kuna shida, kuna mashimo, kuna maji. Tunapitia mengi sana. Kama anaweza tusaidia sana na mahali pa kutrainia sana.
Mtuta analenga kushinda finali kuu ya mashindano ya Afrika Mashariki ambayo itafanyika Agosti 18 hapa jijini Nairobi.
Sasa zoezi kwa bidii. Bila zoezi hiyo ingine itakuwa ni shida. Na kwa ushindi mimi husema nikishinda sasa ndio nimeanza zoezi. Inanipea motisha sana.
Mtuta aligundua kwamba na kipaji miaka 5 iliyopita.
For now nimefikisha 5 years. After nimeanza inline speed skating, nimeenjoy sana.
Kuwa na usiku mwanana.
Asante sana Yeshua Makori. Vile basi mtazamaji, nakamilisha taarifa zetu, lakini baada ya taarifa hizi tunaungana na mwanahabari wetu Olive Barros katika kipindi bomba kabisa NLF akiangazia swala zima la mageuzi katika sekta ya elimu. Mtazamaji, ndivyo hivyo unavyoona katika runinga yako ni kwamba wanaangazia swala zima la mageuzi katika sekta ya elimu. Ni Frida Mwaka, siku zote nitaitika mfasiri wa lugha ishara ni Flora Atieno, na kutakia usiku mwema.
This is NTV.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka.
Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Imperfections, blackheads. Try Garnier's Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, powered by salicylic acid and purified charcoal to reduce pimple-causing germs by 99.5%. One product, 3 uses for a pure skin. Garnier Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, #1 in South Africa, by Garnier Naturally.
Deals kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy Guru Special Basmati Rice 5 kg at 945 shillings. Carrefour Vegetable Oil 5 liters at 999 shillings. Fresh chicken leg bone in 5 kg at 599 shillings. Onion red at 165 shillings. Higher Android TV 43 at 26995 shillings. Deals kila wiki na Carrefour.
It ain't easy to be tough, to stand tall when your legs are about to give up. But being tough is the only option. I am a toughie.
Bata Toughies. Durable and comfortable shoes to match your inner toughness.
For an exclusive 3-time skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by Black Carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
I trust Sunlight 2-in-1 washing powder to give my clothes a sensational clean and an uplifting fragrance. Sunlight. More than you expect.
Introducing a new range of Royco spices. An explosion of rich, authentic taste. Spicika na Royco. Making those good meals great.
NTV, turning on your world.
Let me invite you to the Nation Leadership Forum. We're coming to you live from the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. And this evening, we are discussing have education reforms equipped us to be globally competitive. It is a work in progress, I mentioned earlier. For those who are not here, my name is Olive Burrows. I am a news anchor, Nation Media Group. I want to introduce you to my panelists, and with me this evening, I was about to say with me in studio this evening, but this qualifies as my studio this evening. We have Professor Charles Ochieng Ongondo, who is the Director, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. We also have Professor Henry Kiptoni Kiplagat, a Vice Chancellor, Kabarak University. We have Dr. Alice Kande, Kenya National Qualifications Authority. We also have Dr. John Mugo, Executive Director, Zizi Afrique. And we also have with us John Tuwei, Technical Director, State Department for TVET, Ministry of Education. Glad to have you all represented here. And for my audience, makofi ni kwapi? I have an amazing audience this evening. I will begin with Dr. Kande. I came today from an EACC forum. At said EACC forum, the EACC said we are at a low when it comes to fake degrees and fake papers. How can we be globally competitive with this menace?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Olive, and good evening. Thank you very much. I am honored and very privileged to be here this evening and to share in this very timely conversation, and especially for that very topic you've talked about, Olive, about the issue of qualifications. Allow me, first of all, to say that I work for an agency called the Kenya National Qualifications Authority that is mandated to ensure that as a country we have globally competitive qualifications. And that is why I'm saying this is really a timely conversation for us. And the way we do it is to ensure that we coordinate and harmonize education and training in the country, ensuring that each and every institution that has a legal mandate to train, assess, and award does it in the provided, well-articulated criteria. And all the institutions must observe that. And in so doing, then, we would be confident about the kind of qualifications that we are getting. And one thing, then, that we do as a country is that we are implementing what we're calling the National Qualifications Framework. And the framework recognizes that learning happens formally, informally, and informally. That said, then we have 3 sub-frameworks of education. We have the formal education. We have what we very well know from basic to the highest level, that is doctorate. We have the TVET. We also have the skills pathway. And in that said then, we're saying that if anyone then would want to pursue any of those paths, then it is clearly articulated. There's no reason then why we should be talking about fake qualifications. Because if one really wants to pursue a course, there are all those options that are provided. But then the issue of fake qualifications, we cannot run away from it because it is actually there. Fake, fraudulent qualifications. And the reason probably as to why, Oliver, we have really seen that is the prominence that has been given to papers at the expense of really the competence or the skill that one can do. And I am happy that as a country, we are now focusing on competences. We're talking about CBC, we are talking about CBET, competence education training. We are talking about demonstrable competencies that one can show so that we can actually say that confidently that certificate you have really qualifies you for what you are producing. And so we're glad that we're really having that, that conversation. And I am very certain that we shall be able to surmount that because measures are in place. We're currently looking at a number of them, receiving a number of requests to check authenticity. Unfortunately, for all that we get, we wouldn't miss about 5 to 10% that are not authentic. And what we do then, we are communicating with those who possess and also the employers to make sure that we also tempt this vice because it is not right. Of course, we know that we really need to really pronounce ourselves even as a country so that our qualifications are really acceptable nationally, regionally, and globally.
Pronounce ourselves as a country. Yes. Dr. Mugo. I would imagine this would have an impact on how Kenya's papers are viewed on the global stage. How would we go about restoring confidence? Is it flickering green? There we go.
Yes. Thank you. This is a great evening, and thank you so much, Olive. I represent here a constituency called civil society. So I don't work for government. Our work is to congratulate government when things are going well, but also to call out where we see things are not working well. And also being honest with ourselves. The issue of qualifications, things have not gone well. The taste of a good system is in the product. And so often, we glorify inputs into education, which is a good thing. The curriculum is an input, teachers is an input, desks, classrooms. But if all those things are in place, and we really congratulate government for being so committed to education, that must be said honestly. Because as Kenya, despite all the issues we will point, Kenya now stands at the top of the continent in terms of goodwill and putting education. There are many things that I think compound the issue of fake qualifications. One of them is the general issue of values. CBC, CBET, we have values-based education, but as long as society doesn't practice these values, we are being unfair to universities, we are being unfair to schools to ask them to produce good certificates when government is producing fake fertilizer and no one is sacked, is producing all the fake things and our boss who we voted for knows what is wrong and nothing happens. So that actually comes down all the way. And so school just mirrors society, but the injustice we do to ourselves is actually immense because when we have a fake certificate, let's say a doctor, who did not qualify and now has a certificate, imagine the number of deaths. And so one thing is to really say value-based education is now there. We have a curriculum that stipulates, even defines 8 values. But those 8 values is not just the responsibility of the Vice Chancellor to produce good certificates, because corruption has a supply and demand side of it, and none of them is better. So I think this conversation is a call to be true to the cause, and knowing that when we have the right qualifications at all levels, supported by values, then we are advancing our competitiveness.
All right. Professor Ngondo, let me bring you in at this point, because as Dr. Kande said, CBC was meant to address this do or die of national exams, that if you do not get an A, your future is finished. So how on the global stage, in a world where we are discussing AI, and as Dr. Mbugo said, in some areas, children are still learning outside. They do not have desks, they do not have seats, they are learning on the ground. How competitive can we really be? Sorry, I'm not sure your mic is on. Is it flickering green? Okay, there should be a button you can press. Try it again. Or Dr. Mugo, do you mind passing him yours?
It's okay now.
Ah, okay, great.
Thank you very much, Olive. Let me start by taking the advantage of being a host to welcome my colleague panelists, to congratulate Nation Media Group for bringing this forum here, and to welcome all the participants to the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. We are privileged and proud to host you. Thank you, I thought we needed that clap. Coming to your question, one of the reasons that Kenya is on the path of curriculum reform is to be able to be in tandem with other nations globally, especially in terms of paying attention the 21st century skills. And you have mentioned that we could be lagging behind in terms of infrastructure and so on. I want to assure the country, because when we develop the curricula, when we think about the resources, when we do our assessment, we do a lot of benchmarking. I want to assure the country, and indeed, as John said, that Kenya is among some of the best, 1, curricula that you can find in the world. 2, our teachers are extremely competitive. You may not know that we are exporting a number of our teachers to several countries, especially in the region. And 3, yes, we are working hard to make sure we bridge the gap of resources, but we are still among the best in Africa. And I'll take the example of technology. The amount of technology that we have that supports our education system, beginning with what we have here in the Institute alone, is not available in many other countries in the world. For example, did you know that for almost all the lessons that you can expect in Kenyan schools, we have those lessons somewhere in the Kenya Education Cloud that learners and teachers in any school in this country, as long as they are connected, as long as they have the relevant gadgets, can access. And did you know that every school in this country has a projector, has a laptop, and if they are digitally connected, they will be able to access content that is globally competitive in the world.
Professor, you can say that with confidence, that every school in the country.
Yes, I say that with a lot of confidence, because all I do is reading, and I read about what takes place everywhere so that we are competitive. Competency-based education has 3 main pillars. 1 is the curriculum. The competency-based curriculum is as best as any other curriculum in the rest of the world. And indeed, many countries come here for benchmarking, including, you will be surprised, South Africa and Egypt, which we consider to be some of the best. We had a South African delegation here the other day. The second pillar is competency-based teaching and learning, where Teacher Service Commission comes in. And you will agree with me that we have no shortage of qualified teachers And then the third pillar, of course, competence-based assessment, and that's where we come in. That CBC is actually the keyword to the fake certificates, because every employer going forward will be looking at what you can do. Can you demonstrate that you have the knowledge, skills, and attitudes and values that you claim to have? Then we shall have assessed you continuously, and those records are available. Right from the time you are in grade 1 up to the time you get to grade 9, we have your records. So you can't wake up and tell us you are an A student when all your continuous formative assessment has demonstrated that you're just approaching expectations. So yes, very competitive curriculum.
We'll come back to that, because I'm curious how many people in this room have their children in private school, and if that is a reflection of the confidence they have in our public education system. But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Professor Kiplagat, how watoto wanatoka CBC wanakuja hawako mbali, and already with the transition to JSS, it was, well, let's just say it was an experience. How ready are our universities? Because we've talked a lot about reform where basic education is concerned. How about institutions of higher learning?
Thank you very much, Olive, for that question. As we all know, CBC started being rolled out in 2017 in this country. So currently, we have the students who've been in this program for the longest being in grade 8. So they will be in grade 9 next year. They will join senior school in 2026. And we expect to have them in the universities in 2029. So the universities in this country are now preparing themselves to ensure that when we have these students reporting to universities in 2029, then everything will be ready for them. But even before that time, universities in this country are preparing teachers for students in junior secondary school and some in senior secondary school. So preparedness has started in earnest. And what universities are doing now is they are reviewing their curricula so that their curricula then become CBC compliant. I will give you the case of Kabarak University. Kabarak University is ready as we speak, because in 2021, we partnered with KICD in order to train all the lecturers in the School of Education, Humanities, and Social Sciences. So in our university, we have trainers of trainers. They are compliant, they are properly trained. As we speak now, Kabarak University has reviewed all the curricula in the School of Education, namely Bachelor of Education Arts, Bachelor of Education Science, Bachelor of Education in Agricultural Extension and Education, and Bachelor of Theology, because we have all those in the School of Education. And we have submitted them to Commission for University Education. Those curricula are complete with the designs. So as we train students, even as we speak, when those students graduate, they will be able to teach and be competitive, be competent in CBC delivery in our schools. The Commission for University Education has also required all universities in this country to review their curricula, and a timeline has been given. So by the end of this year, all universities in Kenya will have reviewed their curricula, and CUE will have then accredit those curricula so that they can be rolled out in our universities. We have also been, because we are regulated by Commission for University Education, every university in this country has been asked to form a competency-based implementation committee. In the case of Kabarak University, for example, we have 7 schools, and I have a champion for CBC in every school. Now the 7 champions form the competency-based implementation committee, because review of curricula will not only end in the School of Education. All other schools must review their curricula, be they the School of Law, Business and Economic Science, Medicine and all science, even pharmacy. Because when the students come in 2029, all these curricula must be competency-based and they must be then be aligned with the system that the country is rolling. And let me tell you this, viewers, this system is good because it focuses on what the students can do. Even if you want to do something, definitely you must know. So it's not a total departure from knowledge-based education, because you must have the knowledge and then you emphasize what you can do. And that is a great thing that this country has done.
All right.
And so we are prepared.
We are prepared.
Thank you.
TVET, Mr. Tuwe, tuko na madaktari wako kwa barabara. Wanatafuta mshahara. Interns posting at the moment. Hiyo ingine tumeambiwa wamesort. But for a lot of us growing up who were told to become a doctor, become an engineer, and then when we became doctor and engineer, we were told actually these technical skills are the ones which are required. What is the status of TVET reform? Are we equipping learners with what is actually needed?
Thank you, Olive. First and foremost, I'm glad to be in the Nation Leadership Forum to articulate about TVET and the reforms that we have undertaken to build the capacity for the TVET subsector to develop skills for the key sectors of the economy. Coming back to your question, I want to say that, to begin by saying that if education is the key, TVET is the master key, and I'm quoting His Excellency the President. We are ready to implement or roll out the competency-based education and training in Kenya because we have the political goodwill. We have that moment that we missed. And I was talking to one of your staff, and he said, this is the sector that we neglected, and that's why we are here. That's why we don't have plumbers. That's why we don't have electricians who are competent. But I want to say that the TVET subsector has grown in the last 10 years, and a lot of reforms have been put in place to ensure that we build that capacity. One of the reforms is expansion, the rapid expansion of TVET institutions across the country through the policy of one TVET institution per constituency. And that is in itself one of the communications to the country that TVET is here and skilling is with us. Now, in as far as readiness and ensuring that we have quality, we have put in place the regulatory framework in terms of building institutions like the Kenyan National Qualifications Authority is one of the regulatory authorities where my sister is heading. We have the TVET Authority, the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority, which ensures that our quality is top-notch. The other aspect that we have built is ensuring that we equip all the TVET centers to ensure that we are training on the cutting-edge technology. We are training the 21st century skills that are competitive globally. And we are talking about labor exports, and our president is the champion of ensuring that we have the online jobs through the digital skills training, which we are partnering with the State Department for ICT, and we are providing the digital tools to ensure that digital skills are transferred from across the board. The other aspect that we have reformed is on the trainer, ensuring that the trainer is retooled on the delivery on competency-based education and training. And competency-based education and training has three aspects. We transfer knowledge as one of the aspects. We transfer the skills, and attitudes of that trainer or trainee to ensure that they have the right employable skills, like ICT skills, like working in teams, like ensuring that they are able to negotiate and be able to get credit to start their own businesses.
All right. Dr. Kande, this, for those who have children, they will know, they probably know how to operate your phone better than you know. And I think I'll come back to that with Prof, the teachers and the trainers and them being equipped to prepare the learners for this day and age. But first, I learned how to do my makeup on YouTube. I did not need to go to any class. Nobody needed to teach me. People are learning a lot by themselves with access to the internet. There is also peer-to-peer learning. So I know you have this recognition of prior learning program. How far have you gone with that? What is the status?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Olive, for that. And bringing up that topic of recognition of talent, which we are still celebrating as a country, we saw it important really to have that policy in place.
I don't think your mic is on. Do you mind using Mr. Tways?
Mic, yes. Thank you so much. Yes, recognition of pre-learning. Olive, thank you so much for raising that up. Because it is one of the areas of reform and a policy that promotes inclusivity in terms of appreciating the skills and the competencies that ourselves and our people have. We appreciate ourselves, especially looking at ourselves as a country. The fabric that makes ourselves, you know, we like doing things. And like you rightly said, you can just get to YouTube and you will be able to learn things and you will try to see how best you can use that skill. Probably it will even help you to generate money. And actually we're seeing so much of that. And not just learning from YouTube. We have people in the industry. We have people in the labor market. We have people in the informal sector who probably did not manage to go through the formal education and training for one reason or another. Maybe one missed out to complete their class 8 or their form 4 because of fees or because of other reasons, but they found themselves working. And over time, they've refined and, you know, their competence, and they're able to really make use of that skill and the competence that they have. And so recognition of pre-learning, I think, is a newest policy that we have within the education and training sector, and it is recognizing that we can actually identify where those skills are. Those individuals who possess those skills, we bring them up and we assess that skill that they have. I want to say that it is not a cheap process. It is not a process that is deemed to compromise our very proud system that we already have, the formal education and training, the classroom training, but it complements, it fills a gap that the formal education and training did not have. Because we're saying that you do not necessarily have to duplicate learning that you already have. You already have the knowledge. Why can't you just be assessed for that knowledge? And so we're glad that as a country that has been approved. And right now where we are, it's at the luring out stage. As my colleague from the State Department for TVET has rightly said, we are very keen when it comes to quality assurance and all that is required to ensure that such kind of a policy is implemented correctly. And so where we are right now is to make sure that our institutions are prepared and ready to roll that out, and so that any institution that has that legal mandate to assess and award a certificate, they are also ready to embrace that component as well, because it is really something that we cannot ignore. We are happy that there's so many people actually who have already bought into that, and we believe that this is going to really transform many lives. And we're really looking up to a successful rollout of that policy.
All right, so we'll take a break at this point, but when we come back, Dr. Mugo, the role of the parent, because CBC has put the parent is doing homework with the child, wanafanya homework pamoja. So what is the role of the parent in making our learners more globally competitive? And knowledge transfer, Mr. Tuwe, how are we facilitating that at our TVETs? See you on the other side of this break.
Next time, please, don't visit me without letting me know. It's too dangerous for you to be here.
You're unbelievable, JC. You're softening up.
They are still my
Your
parents.
parents who lied to your face as a kid, and not just you, JC, but your brother too. Have you forgotten that?
I hear it was quite the operation against Nestor Almazan. Congratulations.
It's too early to congratulate us, Ulysses. We still haven't caught the head of the syndicate, the real leader of them all, because it wasn't Nestor.
So where will you go after this?
I'm just about to text my friend. Where will you go?
I'm just going to wait for my husband right here. He's going to pick me up. My husband's arrived.
Fists of fate. I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the hot bud? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Crazy offers. Save up to 180 bob. Buy now at a store near you.
Tired of popping pills and carrying hot water bottles each time you have menstrual cramps? I recommend Deep Heat Period Pain Patch. Convenient to use anywhere, anytime. Tear and remove protective film and attach the patch only once directly to the lower abdomen. The patch gives a penetrating warmth that relieves menstrual cramps and pain for up to 12 hours. Girls, don't give in to the pain. Roto.
In a world where dreams are the currency of the brave, she dared to take the path less traveled. She's not just a name in the crowd, but a force to reckon with. She has conquered every obstacle to realize the goal. It's not just about her success, it's about the impact she brings to the society. Nominate a deserving woman or yourself today for the Business Daily Top 40 Under 40 Women 2024. Visit top40.bdafrica.com. Nomination close on 3rd May 2024.
An all-new season of NTV Wild Talk with Smriti Vidyarthi, starting this May.
I'm sure you're wondering why USIU. The reason why you're coming here is not because you're just getting a degree. You're getting to experience USIU.
very good evening to you. We were on break. This is a Nation Leadership Forum, so you can see people are just getting settled back in. And this evening, we are discussing have the education reforms adequately equipped our learners to be globally competitive. And right before we went on break, Dr. Mugo, I had addressed or raised the issue of parents and their role in making learners competitive. Your response to that? Globally competitive.
Yeah, thank you so much. But let me first demystify a myth that one could easily hold on to, that a reform of the curriculum solves all our problems. It doesn't. Because the curriculum addresses the issue of relevance. Are we teaching the right things? But it doesn't address inclusion. It doesn't address equity. It doesn't address quality. So if your body is dirty and you change clothes, that doesn't make your body clean. So the issue of a clean body has to be addressed, and that's the issue of quality. So I think curriculum implementation is as important as the curriculum itself. So we have to pay attention to the outcomes. And what we know is that even though we have made progress, the progress is not fast enough. Only 40% of those in grade 4 can read at grade 3 level. We have 46,000 E's, even though the older curriculum is still our children to deal with. We have employers complaining that they are not getting graduates that have the skills. So we need to also, as we address relevance, and we have Professor Ongondo here doing that, the Teachers Commission looking at the mindsets of the teachers, because it's not just about having skills to teach, but also how to teach. Now, parents are very important. We have placed all our faith in the school, but the parent is the first teacher.
Do you mind, Dr. Mugo, before we get to the parents, if we can have the professor sitting next to you respond to the issues you've raised? And I will come back to you immediately on the question of parents. But just because we have changed clothes, Dr. Mugo says, don't mean that we are clean.
Thank you very much, Olive. At the center of what Dr. Mugo is saying is a matter of quality. And you could also add in equity and access. And I want to indicate that the challenges of quality, equity, and access are not caused by the change in the curriculum. They are not even unique to Kenya. In almost all contexts where education is being offered, especially the developing nations, you will find that countries are catching up to ensure that there is quality, that there is access, there is retention, and there is equity. But let me also say that in terms of the competency-based curriculum, the issue of quality at the implementation level, I would say, is ingrained in the way teaching is done. Now, a teacher, any teacher education endeavor aims at equipping the teacher with 5 things. One is professionalism, and we don't have time to elaborate. 2 is content. Do they have a mastery of the content? Thirdly is pedagogy, and the key departure between the competency-based curriculum and the knowledge-based curriculum that we are facing out is that CBC emphasizes learner-centered pedagogy. The third matter is assessment. And of course, in CBC, we are emphasizing formative assessment. And the last one is ability to develop and utilize resources effectively. Those are the hallmarks of quality. And I will, if you allow, invite Dr. Namburi here, who is the Director of Teacher Professional Development at TSC, to confirm to you that through a multi-agency approach, the Ministry of Education is more than ever before putting a lot of efforts in quality. Dr. Mugo is putting it at 40% generally. In CBC, we don't use quantification. We talk about exceeding, approaching, or meeting expectations. I would say the most important thing now, and I say that with all the confidence, is that we are meeting qualifications. In the Ministry of Education, particularly here at KSCD, we do every year monitoring and evaluation of the curriculum. Very, very professionally done. And the products are complete with ISBN, peer-reviewed, going through channels. And I welcome all of us to look at our research. And again, I want to thank Zizi Africa and others for the research that they produce. You will realize that we don't mince our words. Where we think that the monitoring has revealed aspects of low quality that need to be upgraded, we do that. And that's where there's a lot of continuous professional development. If you allow Dr. Namburi to come in for a minute, I think he's a very critical person in our midst to tell us about what the Teacher Service Commission is doing, because that falls squarely within their mandate.
All right, so as we get a microphone to him, Dr. Mugo, there was a task force set up right before the transition to JSS, made several recommendations. Are we moving in the right direction? Will we start to smell better moving forward?
The direction is right, is very right. We are moving the right direction. The question is pace. The pace is too slow. And I give an example. We all know that there is no difference now between a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop. Those three gadgets can serve the same function. So we are struggling to purchase laptops and tablets for children, while the smartphone remains outlawed in the school. So instead of saying, asking children, bring a smartphone if you have one at home or your parent has one, then we see it is 10 learners remaining. We supply 10 tablets. We are trying to use a pro rata kind of capitation that we have sustained that doesn't work, that will never bridge equity in our generation. So while I think there are many bold decisions to make, we removed repetition, grade repetition, which was a very good decision. But no one asks now the grade 2 teacher in November, when they are handing over children to grade 3, how many of your children can read? 4 out of 10. How about the 6? What were you doing the whole year? So we are not bold enough. And so the pace will remain slow. We'll be making, being happy about nice things. But these policies, without accountability, honestly, we will not be able to move fast enough. And because Kenya has no minerals, Kenya doesn't have anything. What we are selling is human capital and this global competitiveness, and I thank the Nation Media Group. Then we have to be honest about ourselves, because we are gazing at an opportunity of leading Africa and not comparing ourselves with the worst, South Sudan and the others, but saying that Kenya's graduates now, and a majority of them, not a minority of them, are going to be as good as those graduating from South Korea or Finland. Because if we reach at that level, then for sure, Kenya will lead the rest of the countries in Africa.
All right, I will just hand my microphone just for a minute.
Thank you so much. I want to say that Teacher Service Commission has been preparing and retooling the teachers using what we call a multi-stakeholder engagement. That is, KICD develops the curriculum content, Kenya National Examination Council develops the assessment content, KISE assists in the special needs education content, and therefore Teacher Service Commission gets the national master trainers from all these organizations and coordinates the teacher training. And I want to say with all confidence, we have retooled all the primary school teachers in the country. We have gone ahead and now retooled the teachers who are handling the junior school. And we are starting the process of also retooling the teachers who will be handling the senior school. So it is a capacity building activity which is helping the teachers to rethink about the question of learner-centered teaching approach. And this is a very serious endeavor the government is undertaking, because the training of the teachers is being funded by government, and the Teacher Service Commission coordinates through a multi-stakeholder engagement. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping that concise. Dr. Mugo, I don't know whether that has addressed any of your concerns.
We will know we have arrived when teachers in public schools will have their children in the public schools and when politicians will be admitted in public hospitals. Until that happens, we will know that there is a gap and there is work to work on. But you asked me, Olive, about parents. I think it's not fair not to talk about parents. Children who are 0 to 3 years, that first 1,000 days are actually the most important. And parents need to know that if your babies can do 3 things. 1, they laugh more than they cry. 2nd, they play most of the times. And 3rd, they ask all the questions they have without annoying the parents. Then we are creating a very strong foundation. We have a silo effect between county governments and national governments, but that shouldn't worry us. One of the things is language. Another policy we keep shying off from. We know that we learn best to read when you read in a language that you already speak. When a child shows up in PP1, they speak a language. There is no 4-year-old that doesn't speak unless if they have special needs, and we have KISA here that takes care of assessments and early identification. So why are we teaching them to read in a language they don't speak? And it is also because of parental pressure. Parents believe that the earlier you speak English, the better. We are not giving a 5-year-old a job where they speak English. We want them to read. So the foundation is very important, and CBC has done it. So parents, if we can embrace CBC and do the right thing, that we participate, not just by taking our children to school, but by teaching them values. We did an assessment. Those that are able to demonstrate respect are less than 12%. Meaning, when you go out here and you see how drivers are overlapping, that is respect. Queuing is a very critical component in the construction of respect as a value. So that is the work of a parent. We cannot overburden schools by asking schools to teach our children values. Then kazi yetu kama wazazi itakuwa nini? So values are taught through modeling. So parents, please, if we can all join hands to know that when you are making a mistake, you are corrupting, you are doing all that in the presence of children, then we are failing CBC. So we have to also embrace our own responsibility. Whatever you can, even if you never went to school yourself, you can tell your children stories, you can ask them to read for you even if you don't know what they are reading. You can show interest and concern, and that way, parental engagement and empowerment, which is a principle of CBC, will become alive.
All right, thank you for that. Professor Kiplagat, this week we've spoken a lot about flooding. It's a reality of climate change. It is a reality that is not only confronting Kenyans, it is a global issue. We had the COVID-19 pandemic. It was not closed in any borders, it cut across the globe. How are you equipping your students to provide solutions to the problems of today?
Thank you very much, Olive, for that question. Let me begin with the COVID-19 pandemic. When that happened, the education system in this country and the world was thrown into disarray. And I remember the date very well, 15th of March, 2020, when the president pronounced himself and said all educational institutions in Kenya should be closed. That time, particularly private institutions were thrown into a panic mode, because once you close, it means it has a lot of implications. So I remember that time, what we did as an institution was to quickly train both the students and the staff on how to use the online mode of learning. And it took us 2 months to do that. And we discovered that some of the students were even faster, in learning than, of course, their own teachers. And some of our students gave us some solutions for teaching online. So as an institution, as universities, of course, we are supposed to be in the forefront when it comes to research and innovation. So central in any university worth its salt is innovation. So we have trained our students to be innovative in all fields. And because of that pandemic, I will give you an example for Kabarak University. Our students came up with an electronic voting system. Instead of queuing and voting and spreading COVID through handshakes and being close together when you are voting, they came up with an electronic voting system where the students now had to vote in the comfort of their rooms and elected their students. So that came up in 2021. And we've been using that system up to now. Other universities are paying Kabarak University to use that electronic voting system. And I wish our country can invest in that electronic voting system that was innovated by Kabarak University students so that you can use it to run the elections in Kenya so that you don't have to import an electronic voting system, and then when you have problems, you say you want to open the server. If that is done in Kenya, if you invest in that electronic voting system, we can have an ingrown innovation that can benefit this country, just like the M-Pesa that was started by a Kenyan. And of course, we also have some students. Please pardon me to use examples of my university because that is what I know best. I have students also who come from School of Business and Economics and also School of Medicine and Health Sciences. You must have heard the famous ugali made from grass.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
And that ugali can actually be eaten and you can actually survive. But the cost of production is much lower. The cost of producing that flour is much lower than producing the maize flour. So there is so much that we can do. Now on climate change, we teach, in the university now, instruction is not focused on your own county or your own country or your own continent, but you focus in the globe. We want to produce citizens who can go anywhere in this world. Now for climate change, there is so much that is happening in this country. Even now, we are experiencing a lot of rains because of climate change. But if we teach our students to be responsive to what is happening in the world, even the water that is, causing havoc and killing people, in some areas, that water could even be dammed so that when we have a dry spell, we don't cry that animals are dying, that people are dying. Serikali's idea. But there's so much that we can do to provide solutions. And in a nutshell, university education, particularly at the research level, aims at preparing academics to come up with solutions that deal with real problems in the society. But we have a handicap there. For you to do research, you must be properly funded. For you to respond to climate change challenges, if you have to be innovative, you must have resources. But if you look at the amount of resources set aside for research in this country, say by the national government and even the universities in this country, the percentage is very, very low. So you cannot do much. But we have great brains in this country that can come up with homegrown Kenyan solutions to solve our problems. So let's love our country and invest in our universities and support, and we will come up with solutions that the world may enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Prof. I mean, the example that keeps being given every other day, M-Pesa. All right, Mr. Tuwei, before I open up the floor to questions, what skills specifically are required? What do the trends indicate
Thank you. Thank you, Olive. The specific skills that are transferable. I've talked earlier about the competency-based education and training, and I said that there are three facets. We have the knowledge, we have the skills, and we have the attitudes. And in as far as climate change is concerned, the skills and the curriculum that we are rolling out have aspects of climate change infused in it. And our technical and vocational education and training, CDAC, currently is developing a curricula that has aspects of renewable energy sources infused in it. In terms of the skills that are required to ensure that we which are transferable is we have ICT skills infused in our curricula in every aspect. If it is skills to do with mechanical engineering, then ICT is integrated within that curriculum. For skills in electrical and electronics, then again, the skills are infused in ICT to ensure that they are green skills. In terms of what we are doing, each of the curricula that we are rolling out in TVET
is there a provision for example, we've seen our presidents go to Germany, for instance. So, you know, is there a way that we're working to see that the TVETs are working together, our TVETs here, TVETs in Germany, such that there's a knowledge transfer, iron sharpens iron, such that we're exposing our students to the best there is in the world?
Yes, thank you very much. In terms of collaboration with the international community, we are rolling out the dual training curriculum, which is international, and the curriculum is developed with industry. And the rollout is that you train 50% in industry and 50% at the institution to prepare the youth for work internationally. The 2,000 youth places of jobs that are promised in Germany, we are preparing the youth to ensure that first they have the skill, and secondly, they have the language to work abroad. Secondly, the attitudes and the culture is infused for the international jobs in preparation for these youth.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Tuwei. We take a break, but the Nation Leadership what? Nation Leadership Forum will be back on the other side, and in the next segment, our audience will engage our panelists directly.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash, Cash reward ya 1,000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda Cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Now with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying. With precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin. Step out in confidence with our most complete care from the world's #1 skincare brand.
Jenny, what are you up to at this time?
I'm just doing this for my friends at school who do not have lunch.
You should have told me.
When your kids learn from you, you're giving them a great start. Prestige Margarine. It all starts with a great start. Now comes in the original and vanilla flavor.
Bringing families together with love to honor cultural traditions with great taste. This Ramadan, celebrate the moments and meals that bring us together. Wishing you peace, joy, and unity. Ramadan Kareem.
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The Power Duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
Deals kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy Guru Special Basmati Rice 5 kg at 945 shillings. Carrefour Vegetable Oil 5 liters at 999 shillings. Fresh chicken leg bone in 5 kg at 599 shillings. Onion red at 165 shillings. Higher Android TV 43 at 26995 shillings. Deals kila wiki na Carrefour.
Hi there, my name is Dr. George Washuri. I am here to present to you a wonderful place you can build a retirement home. Where else other than Ocean View Ridge, Vipingo by Optiven? This property is well manicured. We have a perimeter wall. We are doing a swimming pool. We just concluded a beautiful entry gate. Only 2 miles to the ocean. What are you waiting for? Do you want to retire in the coastal region? Call this number 0790 300 300. The best property ever.
I see a great future for you. Overseas trips, business success, and irresistible to women.
Wow, all that from my hand?
Not this hand, love. That one.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Imperfections, blackheads. Try Garnier's Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, powered by salicylic acid and purified charcoal to reduce pimple-causing germs by 99.5%. One product, 3 uses for a pure skin. Garnier Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, #1 in South Africa, by Garnier, naturally.
We can't wait to hear your story. No story is too big or too small. Build your story with an Absa One account. Earn 10% interest per annum on your savings. Download the Absa Kenya app to open an account. Your story matters.
What a wonder. Something so small as a vaccine can help save millions of lives, from measles, cervical cancer to polio, cholera, and COVID-19. Vaccines have been helping protect us for over 200 years. Ever wonder how vaccines work? Vaccines act like a coach. Train and strengthen your immune system, helping to build up the strength of your immune system to help protect you from potentially dangerous diseases. Take action. Visit your nearest health facility and get the vaccines your healthcare provider recommends for you. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with AMREF and Pfizer.
Tired of popping pills and carrying hot water bottles each time you have menstrual cramps? I recommend Deep Heat Period Pain Patch. Convenient to use anywhere, anytime. Tear and remove protective film and attach the patch only once directly to the lower abdomen. The patch gives a penetrating warmth that relieves menstrual cramps and pain for up to 12 hours. Girls, don't give in to the pain. Roto.
Deals kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy Guru Special Basmati Rice 5 kg at 945 shillings. Carrefour Vegetable Oil 5 liters at 999 shillings. Fresh chicken leg bone in 5 kg at 599 shillings. Onion red at 165 shillings. Higher Android TV 43 at 26995 shillings. Deals kila wiki na Carrefour.
This is NTV.
Tonight,
Walikuwa wawili walikuwa wanafuga kule, lakini walipitia mali nini ambayo haistahili kupitia.
Two Masai Mara University students drown in Swollen and Kari River in the county of Narok. As torrential rains continue to wreak havoc, floods death toll in Nairobi stands at 13. Also tonight,
his dismissal has nothing to do with him being a member of the union. His dismissal is purely on the fact that he absconded duty.
Who is fooling who? Embu County says KMPDU Deputy Secretary General Dennis Miskela was dismissed for absconding duty since 2022. Has the fire union leader been called out? Plus,
mahindi imefanya vizuri na hii yenye tulitumia na hii gel green, hii ndio imefanya mbaya sana.
Farmers thrust into a roller coaster of emotions. They still don't know how they will be compensated for the substandard fertilizer already affecting their crops. And
this building is here. We will use it.
14 years and 9 billion shillings later, National Assembly Speaker admits Bunge Tower is yet to be completed. Politics and power tonight.
Well, the early bird doesn't just catch the worm. Red Bull gives you wings.
I'm sure you're wondering why USIU. The reason why you're coming here is not because you're just getting a degree. You're getting to experience USIU.
Welcome back to the Nation Leadership Forum. This evening we are examining because we're discussing matters education, how reforms in the sector, are they equipping our learners to be globally competitive? When we're coming to you live from the KICD, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. As promised, we have a couple of questions from our audience tonight. We'll start with Dr. Mwaka, Daystar University.
Right. Thank you so much, Olive, for this invitation. And you
can stand so that
right. Thank you so
much,
Olive, for this invitation, and also the panelists. Very great discussion. And my name is Dr. Mwaka, the Director for E-Learning, Daystar University. I would like to pose my question to Dr. Ken Kiwe, Director General. There's been a lot of ambiguity around equation of degrees and matters relating standards in the universities, because both you and Commission for University Education do the same job. Now, making it very difficult for us to be competitive out there, because applicants from outside the country find it so difficult to know who is literally responsible. Are you responsible? Is it the Commission for University Education to check on the relevance of a degree from outside the country or a foreign degree? And secondly, I would like to ask a question. I think that
we'll leave it at one.
All right, that's fine.
We'll leave it to one. We also have a question here from William. William is from West Pokot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Olive, and all the panelists. I think my name is William Toina, Executive Director of the African Borderlands Kenya, a community-based organization in West Pokot County. Now, my question goes to Professor Charles. You just said that many schools in Kenya are actually equipped with technology. I visited 2 days ago my former primary school that I attended in 1995, that is Kamoro Primary School in West Pokot County. It doesn't have those. So my thinking is that, please, if those things are supposed to reach that part of the country, then it should, other than us just assuming that they are, yet kwa ground, mambo ni tofauti. And then lastly, sorry, Olive, I just have to ask this question. The issue around academic qualifications. I think as a country, I'm a graduate of the University of Leicester in England, and one of the things that they look at around qualifications from Kenya is that we are doing so well. But now, with the issue of the fake qualifications, it's really going to affect us, and it will make that students coming from Kenya going to other countries will be taking many years, like foundation years, because of the integrity around our qualifications. And then finally, our politicians, please, appoint people in leadership and appointive positions who have qualifications. I was disappointed the other day when an ambassador was just being asked about the GDP, and he is supposed to go and represent our country. I was disappointed as a scholar from West Pokot County. Thank you.
Thank you for that, William. Next, we have Teddy Warrior, Director, KAVU, Climate Advocates Voices Unite Us.
Thank you for pronouncing it well. My name is Teddy Warrior, as has been said. I have a very practical questions to the Director of KICD.
Teddy, do you mind holding up the mic a bit closer?
Is it better?
Yes, much better.
So I have a specific question to the Director, Charles. We had put in a book called Climate Innovation Challenge, Climate Education Workbook, and I think we submitted the third review yesterday, and we have included a lot of the flora and fauna found in Kenya, because Kenya is supposedly the climate change capital of the world. Yet if you ask a Kenyan school child, what's the name of climate change in their language? They don't even know. And if I even ask many Kenyans here, what's the name of climate change in Swahili, they don't know. If I ask a Kenyan, what do you call a flood in your language or even in Swahili? Or even what do you call soil erosion? In my language, indigenous knowledge, but also make it as practical as possible. For example, to stop floods in Kenya or in my village in Nyakach or in Nyabondo, you can use banana stalks to stop that, and you can also grow sisal. It's very practical, which could have helped us at a time like this. The second question.
No, Teddy, I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you,
and,
Olive, for your opportunity.
And thank you for understanding, Teddy. Just two more questions. I'll start. There's a question on special needs, education, just here. So I'll give that priority.
Thank you, Olive. My name is Johanna Mweu from Kenya Institute of Special Education, KISE. And my question, actually my comment, it cuts across. Because as we talk of global competitiveness, there's a prerequisite to it, accessibility. When we talk of TVET, when we talk of the universities, when we talk of the KNQA, what are we doing in terms of accessibility by learners with special needs and disabilities? And I say this because what the VC Kabarak said about COVID era, I think that was the worst time for persons, for children with disability. Because those children who undergo routine therapies, which cannot be done with, without social distance, those children retrogressed to the extent that they had to start all over again, whatever they had achieved. I think now we need to get answers on what are we doing in terms of accessibility for children with special needs. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Can we have a student?
Thank you. Oh, goodness. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you also to the panelists. My name is Samita Mwaniki. I'm a student at Strathmore University. And I really like that there's so much that is being done in terms of putting structures in the education system. And as a young person with climate change and hearing about green jobs and green skills, I just can't stop thinking about how society is also not ready to embrace us. It's not ready to embrace this change that is coming with the education reforms. So I'd like to pose this question to anyone in the panel. What reassurances can you give young people, the younger generation that is coming from, that is to benefit from these education reforms? How are they going to be embraced and supported by society? Thank you.
All right. Because of time, I'll ask my panelists to be as concise as possible. I'm sure they're well able. Dr. Kande?
So much, Olive. Thank you, Dr. Mwaka, for that question. Seeking clarification on who does equation. Thank you. Yes, Commission for University Education and Kenya National Qualifications Authority, and also TVETA, Technical Vocational Education and Training Authority, are actually siblings of the same mother. But our roles quite distinct. When it comes to qualifications, like I said previously, KNQA implements what we call the Kenya National Qualifications Framework. And so our role when it comes to talking about equating the certificates, for us it is actually aligning and validation. Commission for University Education will equate, but the equation entails checking credibility of the institution that one pursued their course, especially if it is a foreign institution, that it is an accredited institution in that foreign country, and that the program is also accredited. And so it's a valid qualification. It's a credible qualification. But we need to map that qualification to the framework so that we can actually confidently say that if you come with a diploma that is level KNQF level 6 from another country, we would want to ascertain the level, the suitability, that it actually suits the level 6 that we have here. So that is exactly what we do. So we look at a number of parameters, including the learning outcomes and the system of that country where one studied, and so we will be able to look at that certificate, be it a degree or a PhD or a master's or any level of learning the one brings, and we will be able to map it into the framework. And so we will do alignment and validation. And so we're able to really clarify to the stakeholders that those are functions that are quite distinct, and we are doing this very deliberately and approaching the institutions to just make it clear on what exactly we mean by mapping the qualifications in the framework, and then also what checking authenticity and equating all that entails. Thank you so much for that question.
All right, Professor Ngondo.
Thank you very much, Olive. Let me start very quickly by answering a rhetorical question by Dr. Mugo here and say that 90% of Kenyan children, including mine, are in public schools. In fact, in the last 2 years, we have had a serious exodus from private schools to public schools, and those children are resilient, they are competitive, and you will agree with me that at high school level, the principals there, I was talking to them this morning, find them extremely resilient. Secondly, in terms of climate change, which is an important question, in the curriculum now, we have a strand. At CBC, we talk about strands. That is, what is that which you introduce early, which graduates through to all other levels? On climate change, it could be called different things depending on the level. But I want to look at us in the eyes and dare us. Go into many of our schools now, including public schools. Our children are problem solvers. They are able to address pertinent and contemporary issues, including matters of environmental conservation, including matters of water that is just flowing, that is not harnessed, and so on. A specific question was raised on equipment. The government distributed projectors, tablets, and some technology equipment to all schools. One of the challenges we face as government is data, and Dr. Naburi and many other colleagues here in education will confirm to you, including books, which KICD is responsible for distributing. Some schools don't give us accurate data, even on the numbers of children, or even on their registration status, and whether they receive those books or not. That kind of information should come to us so that it is addressed, because if you went to probably more schools in the area, you will find they have the equipment. Lastly, a question asked by Teddy, I think on the climate change. Yes, one of the things that we have done in CBC is to accept a lot of books and other curriculum support materials published by other Kenyans. What we insist on as government is that you bring them to the institute, we evaluate them to assure that they are relevant to the child, they are accessible, and they don't contain any issues that may be retrogressive. They are sensitive to gender, sensitive to culture, sensitive to the age of the children. So let it be clear through this forum, thank you, Olive, that KICD is only a publisher of a last resort now. The materials that we acquire and distribute as government are developed by we people here. Please join the publication stage, including publishing materials in indigenous languages. The government will approve them, and if you compete well enough, we shall distribute them. And just the last one, yes, thank you for the student who asked the question. The populace is already quite embracing what our children are doing. You will be assured that
Enroll now in our ongoing April and May intakes in the following diploma, certificate and artisan programs. SMS your name, course, grade and email address to 0725-818-644 or visit our website, Eldoret Technical Training Institute, growing reputation.
I'm sure you're wondering why USIU. The reason why you're coming here is not because you're just getting a degree. You're getting to experience USIU.
Welcome to Herencia, the heartland of good living, where you belong. A community with endless possibilities. Your path to discovering a master-planned gated community that matches your ambitions. Get yourself this must-have piece of paradise with state-of-the-art amenities, constant water supply, good security, tarmac roads, and much more from as low as 3.5 million. The best part, availability of buy and build financing services. Don't wait. Contact us today or visit our offices for more info. Buy and build your way at Herencia, the heartland of good living.
From different worlds, come a trio with a shared destiny.
Nikulinde na ikuongoze.
Where will the fashion runway take them?
Mimi nitachunga maua yetu vizuri sana hadi wewe narudi.
Family business is everything.
The beauty and the beats. Shanga, starting 25 April at 8 p.m. on Maisha Magic Plus.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash, cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a proud alumni of the prestigious University of Nairobi? Are you ready to make a difference that lasts a lifetime? Then join us for the University of Nairobi Alumni Association Walk.
On the 4th of May, the University of Nairobi alumni are going to be walking in order to support scholarships and sponsorships for other students. We want you to be there. We'd be happy to see you there.
This is indeed a walk for a brighter future. Every stride raises funds for the Alumni Scholarship Fund, a beacon of hope for deserving students in need.
Tired of popping pills and carrying hot water bottles each time you have menstrual cramps? I recommend Deep Heat Period Pain Patch. Convenient to use anywhere, anytime. Tear and remove protective film and attach the patch only once directly to the lower abdomen. The patch gives a penetrating warmth that relieves menstrual cramps and pain for up to 12 hours. Girls, don't give in to the pain.
Roto. What a wonder. Something so small as a vaccine can help save millions of lives, from measles, cervical cancer to polio, cholera, and COVID-19. Vaccines have been helping protect us for over 200 years. Ever wonder how vaccines work? Vaccines act like a coach. Train and strengthen your immune system, helping to build up the strength of your immune system to help protect you from potentially dangerous diseases. Take action. Visit your nearest health facility and get the vaccines your healthcare provider recommends for you. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with AMREF and Pfizer.
Hi there, my name is Dr. George Washuri. I am here to present to you a wonderful place you can build a retirement home. Where else other than Ocean View Ridge, Vipingo by Optiven? This property is well manicured. We have a perimeter wall. We are doing a swimming pool. We just concluded a beautiful entry gate. Only 2 miles to the ocean. What are you waiting for? Do you want to retire in the coastal region? Call this number 0790 300 300. The best property ever.
This is NTV.
Tonight, heavy rains continue to pound many parts of not just the country, but the larger East African region, causing massive flooding, death and destruction. The death toll from the floods here in the capital stands at 13 following the retrieval of 2 bodies in Mathare, as a multi-agency team and the Kenya Red Cross searches for the bodies of 2 Masai Mara University students who drowned in the Enkare Narok River. In neighboring Tanzania, at least 155 people have died in floods and landslides following heavy rains that have also swept through Burundi. Welcome to the broadcast. NTV Tonight begins now. Tonight.
Wawili walikuwa wanafuga kule, lakini walipitia mali nini ambayo haistahili kupitia.
2 Masai Mara University students drowned in swollen Enkare River in the county of Narok. As torrential rains continue to wreak havoc, floods death toll in Nairobi stands at 13. Also tonight.
His dismissal has nothing to do with him being a member of the union. His dismissal is purely on the fact that he absconded duty.
Who is fooling who? Embu County says KMPDU Deputy Secretary General Dennis Miskela was dismissed for absconding duty since 2022. Has the fire union leader been called out? Plus,
mahindi imefanya vizuri na hii yenye tulitumia na hii gel green, hii ndio imefanya mbaya sana.
Farmers thrust into a roller coaster of emotions. They still don't know how they will be compensated for the substandard fertilizer already affecting their crops. And
this building is here. We will use it.
14 years and 9 billion shillings later, National Assembly Speaker admits Bunge Tower is yet to be completed. Politics and power tonight. Welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Flora Atieno. Now, last night, NTV ran a story of the firing of the striking doctors. The Embu County government is now refuting claims that the sacking of Kenya medical practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU Deputy Secretary General for Dennis Miskela, is not due to the ongoing strike or his role in the union. The county says his termination was due to gross misconduct and absconding his duties since 2022.
The counties have issued threats and a person has been a victim. My salary was stopped almost 19 months ago. And when we met the county initially, they said they were to reinstate it, but they sent me a dismissal letter instead, simply because of this current strike.
The words of the Deputy Secretary General for the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union seem to have ruffled some feathers.
In August 2016, Mr. Miskela requested for study leave. He was given approval to study masters in obstetrics and gynecology, and the study leave was to commence in August 2016 to August 2020. So we were expecting that by 2020 August he should have graduated and come back to the county to be assigned duties and work. But this did not happen.
The county says Miskela asked for more time to finish his studies up until 2022 December due to the disruptions of COVID-19, to which the county claims he failed to show up or give any notice even after the lapse of his study leave.
So in December 2022, the department wrote a letter to him asking him to come back and report on duty. Otherwise, now disciplinary action would be taken. And as per the HR procedures, if you're absent or you abscond duty for 10 days or more, salary has to be stopped. So that is what we did. We stopped his salary. And all this time, December 2022, Miskela did not communicate. So until March later,
NTV reached out to Dr. Miskela over these developments and emergence of what appears to be new evidence. He promised us an interview to offer an elaborate response to the allegations, but did not pick our subsequent calls. And as the strike enters its 44th day,
for the doctors, we stand with the interns.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Now, there is a huge collective sigh of relief by hundreds of farmers who bought substandard fertilizer under the government's subsidy program after the National Cereals and Produce Board directed all affected farmers to lodge formal complaints for compensation, which involves replacement or free acquisition of top-dressing fertilizer. But even as the government moves to cushion farmers from the loss, a number of questions arise. From which budget will they be compensated? How much money has been set aside for the process? And why is the government shouldering the burden of a private entity that was contracted to supply the commodity? NTV's Gabriel Kudaka reports from the North Rift.
In Songor village within Tinderet, Nandi County, a number of farmers inspect their crop, which they claim to have planted using the subsidized substandard fertilizer. They attribute the discoloration of the crop and its stunted growth to the use of the substandard fertilizer.
Kuna hii mahindi yetu ingine imekatalia chini, haijasonga, hata iko na papo kala. Na ukiangalia haina afya hata kidogo. It's like hiyo mbolea ilikuwa totally fake, sababu haijasaidia mimea yetu. Na naona ni kama tutakuwa na hasara.
Hata mali tumepanda mahindi yenye iko tulitumia mbolea tofauti na hii. Mahindi imefanya vizuri. Na hii yenye tulitumia na hii Kel Green, hii ndio imefanya mbaya sana.
And their prayer seems to have been answered following a directive by the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock that all the affected farmers be compensated.
Started the process of compensating farmers who bought Kel Green fertilizer. For those farmers who used the fertilizer, we replaced it with a top-dressing fertilizer.
Now, so far, Eldoret NCPB depot has replaced 682 bags of substandard fertilizer, and they are calling upon affected farmers to visit nearby NCPB depots for replacement. But what are the requirements for compensation?
They should come with their national ID, yeah. Because already we have the database and all the details.
But even as the government tries to cushion farmers from the loss, KL Chemicals Limited, the firm at the center of the distribution of substandard fertilizer, has written to the DCI to investigate the conduct of Agriculture CS Mithika Linturi and NCPB boss Joseph Kimote for their involvement in the scandal. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
Former Chief Justice David Maraga has urged the judiciary to handle all corruption-related cases at the High Court's Anti-Corruption Division in order to have a streamlined process. Maraga was speaking at a media engagement forum by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, says accused persons seeking orders from different courts derails the justice process and it is not fair to the judges handling the matter. The Anti-Corruption Agency on its part has issued a warning to all governors and public servants that they will not be spared in the fight against theft of public funds.
Somebody is a governor in Malindi. Is charged. Maybe the investigators went to Malindi to question him. And then from there you hear he has gone to Migori to get an order from there. I mean, what does that tell you? So, and that's what I was saying, that it is actually unfair to the judges hearing that. And they themselves should tell those people to go to the anti-corruption division of the High Court.
Crime does not expire. The message we are passing to the public here is that we are overwhelmed with the number of cases that we are investigating. And this is a message that the current governors, niendeleni kuiba, but pole will get hold of you.
These are professionals who are supposed to ensure that everything is done according to the law, everything is done well. How we find billions being lost within an entity, county government, and their lawyers there, their procurement experts there, their accountants there, what are they doing? They are colluding with these people in order to siphon public resources.
Sergeant Rose Nyawera has been laid to rest at a home in Kagio in the county of Kirinyaga. The KDF soldiers gave a 19-gun salute in honor of the 31-year-old who had only worked for the Kenya Defence Forces for 6 years before last week's helicopter crash. That also claimed the life of Chief of Defence Forces General Francis Ogola and 8 other officers. The family eulogized the late Nyawera as a loyal, dedicated, industrious and humble officer. Nyawera left behind one son.
You're gone forever. No more conversations and family time together. My heart is broken for her friends and colleagues.
For the period Sergeant Rose Nyawera Wachira served the Kenya Air Force, she proved to be dedicated and industrious member of Defence Forces. Her untimely death will no doubt be felt by both members of your family as well as those of the entire service.
We thank the late Sergeant Nyawera for her service. May she rest in peace. The multi-billion shilling Swanky Bunge Tower, officially opened by President Ruto Thursday morning, has been dogged by controversy ranging from delay in construction, cost variation, and poor workmanship, interdiction of staff and concerns around the safety and security of members of parliament. A section of MPs have termed the building as substandard and not worth its cost, even as others have embraced it. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, who doubles up as the chairperson of the Parliamentary Service Commission, has however issued a gag order to the naysayers. NTV's political affairs reporter Vincent Oduor delves into the matter.
The 28-story new Bunge Tower will house members of parliament offices, committee sittings, the kitchen, modern library, gym, and other social amenities. But even as members continue to occupy it in phases, its status has caused uproar among the legislators. Some MPs say the offices are too small, poorly ventilated, and from the 21st floor, the phone network is erratic. Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei is among members of the National Assembly and Senate who believe it is substandard.
And has taken 14 years to be completed with initial budget of 5.8 billion Kenya shillings or 580 US dollars that has been pegged on the project, then later revised to 7.1 billion Kenyan shillings, with financial claims attracting 1.1 billion and over 225 million in interest over delayed payments, among other unknown variations. Hence, the total amount up to now from 5.89 billion are shot to 9.8 billion Kenyan shillings.
The unsatisfied members want the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC to probe members of the Parliamentary Service Commission in the 11th and 12th Parliament, among other persons of interest in the project.
The other day, the delegation from the administrative arm of the Parliament visited, and the lifts did not work. And some of the offices don't have windows. And members of Parliament might end up getting a disease called kwashiorkor, or is it jaundice, when you don't expose yourself to light. And there is a lot of functionality. If you see members of Parliament are not willing to move from KICC, which is dirty and does not have lighting, and toilets are smelling, they don't want to move to a new building, there is a problem.
The matter has raised a comparative need between the Bunge Tower and the Central Bank of Kenya's Pension Towers. Pension Towers is a 27-story ultra-modern building that cost 2.49 billion shillings and took 3.5 years to be completed. On the other side, Bunge Towers is a 28-story building that cost over 9 billion shillings and took 14 years to be almost fully completed.
We should be constructing around 3 new 27-story buildings with what we are doing with 1-story building of Bunge Towers.
Honorable Speaker, how do we assuage the public? How do we address these concerns that are coming from the public about the efficacy of the Bunge Tower project?
However, a week later, Wandai has made a U-turn. He has praised the workmanship, giving the building a clean bill of health.
That in the 12th Parliament, I was privileged to chair the Public Accounts Committee. At no one time were we able to establish any form of impropriety, because we were able to look at the books of accounts for the PSC.
Now 3 parliamentary staff have allegedly been interdicted for leaking information to the media on the questionable status of the complex.
Interdiction is pure malice, which hand it's meant to silence the officers and any other voices that might want to speak out against the ills in the whole of Bunge.
The negative statements about Bunge Tower have seemingly infuriated National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, who on Wednesday seemingly gagged the perpetrators.
Those members who have been pouring vitriol on this process, in fact, may find themselves before the Powers and Privileges Committee, because they're saying things without proof. They're saying things that are utterly untrue.
Some of the members are questioning why Bunge Towers is being officially opened without a certificate of completion, certificate of occupation, certificate by public health, explanation of the pending works, and provision of the total pending bills yet to be paid.
The contractor of the building does not owe Senator Cherargei any duty to show him the completion certificate or any other document for that matter.
But some members have welcomed the latest move.
Kwa hiyo usisikie fitna za huku na huku, kaa ngangari. Na sisi tunasema Mheshimiwa Spika, yes, mambo mazuri lazima yapigiwe upatu. Lile jumba liko sawa kabisa.
The place is prestigious with a good carpet. The furnitures are new. They are good compared with where we were used to before.
And I went up to my office on the 21st floor, and I found that away from the good things that have been spoken about, there's also music. You know, I love Lingala and the Rumba. There's Rumba. I don't know if some of you have joined the place. There's Rumba playing in the background. It's a great place.
On On Tuesday, parliamentary journalists who wanted to access the building and verify some of the claims from members were denied access. This is even as most of the members shy away from publicly expressing their dissatisfaction. Former Speaker Kenneth Marende is the one who approached President Mwai Kibaki in 2009 for the project at a cost of 5 billion shillings. The Grand Coalition government then provided a budget for the 28-story office block, and it was expected to be completed by 2014.
There is no evidence of variation of 25% as provided by Public Finance Management Act, where it demands that if you have to vary a project, you vary within 25%. Considering 5.8 billion to 9.6 billion, you can imagine that total difference.
Bunge Tower, the swanky building, has been built by China Jiangxi International Company. By Wednesday evening, at least 48 legislators had occupied their offices in the Bunge Towers, even as the others are expected to move in phases as the final stage of the construction continues. Vincent Odur, NTV, Nairobi.
Be sure to catch NTV special report, Politics and Power, every Thursday at 9 p.m. We take a quick commercial break here on NTV tonight. We are back shortly.
Everyone can be an expert in his or her field. You can be an expert in all analytics. You know who will be the next star of the season. You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He said, my brother was using the toothbrush. If I'd waited for him, I would have been late for school. I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional when it comes to that. To be able to change a child's life, to be able to bring back that confidence about their smile, for me, is phenomenal.
Eliud Kipchoge has done the unthinkable.
Today, everyone knows me for my victories. Only I know how much I had to try. I got silver, bronze, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. How you deal with pain and setbacks makes you who you are. I choose to accept that I am human. I choose to test myself and stand up when I was down, again and again. Then I realized I wasn't giving myself a challenge big enough, a dream big enough to inspire not just me, but every fellow human. I was limiting myself by what I thought I could do, so I became unlimited. I chose to run the biggest race that man could run. And I challenged myself to do it faster than anyone had done it before. Everything changes when you choose to be unlimited.
To be unlimited, call 0800 724 724.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Maswali gani tena? Kama ni mapri, ndio hii Toyota Hi-Ace, na kama ni mshindi ni wewe mchezaji wa Lucky Game. Kama ni nambari za kucheza, dial *570#, na kama ni namna ya kushinda kwa urahisi, cheza Lucky Game mara kadhaa ili kuongeza hiyo entry tickets kwenye draw. Na kama ni siku ya kutangaza mshindi ni 5th of May. Swali gani tena? Dial *570#. Cheza Lucky Game. Vuka na hii mapri.
Dark marks keep coming back.
Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The Power Duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
Hi there, my name is Dr. George Washuri. I am here to present to you a wonderful place you can build a retirement home. Where else other than Ocean View Ridge, Vipingo by Optiven? This property is well manicured. We have a perimeter wall. We are doing a swimming pool. We just concluded a beautiful entry gate. Only 2 miles to the ocean. What are you waiting for? Do you want to retire in the coastal region? Call this number 0790 300 300. The best property ever.
Next time, please, don't visit me without letting me know. It's too dangerous for you to be here.
You're unbelievable, JC. You're softening up.
They are still my
Your
parents.
parents who lied to your face as a kid, and not just you, JC, but your brother too. Have you forgotten that?
I hear it was quite the operation against Nestor Almazan. Congratulations.
It's too early to congratulate us, Ulysses. We still haven't caught the head of the syndicate, the real leader of them all, because it wasn't Nestor.
So where will you go after this?
I'm just about to text my friend. Where will you go?
I'm just going to wait for my husband right here. He's going to pick me up. My husband's arrived.
Fists of fate.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the hot bud? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching NTV Tonight. As floods continue to ravage the country, a multi-agency team in the county of Narok and the Kenya Red Cross have launched efforts to recover the bodies of 2 Masai Mara University students who drowned in the swollen Enkare Narok River. The government has called on everyone to be vigilant, urging families living in areas prone to flooding to move to higher ground. Here's NTV's Fatma Bogu with more.
The search for 2 bodies of Masai Mara University students who drowned in the Enkare Narok River is underway. The residents here are watching helplessly at the fury of nature. The river is said to have burst its banks overnight, following hours of heavy rainfall that is being witnessed in many parts of the country.
Katika ile hali wakitaka kucross hivi kwa sababu alikuwa anaenda kule kuangalia mto vile imekuwa, ndio huyu akaingia maji. Akaning'inia mwenzake kumsupport yeye. Ile mwenzake pia akafurutwa.
And yet, the Department of Weather Forecast has warned that heavy rain will continue in different parts of the country during the next 3 days. President William Ruto on Thursday chaired an emergency session with all key stakeholders in response to the ongoing flooding across the country, which have claimed lives and displaced thousands of families.
There are citizens living in very dangerous places, and those are the most vulnerable at this point. And I'm happy the Minister for Energy is here so that we can begin to inform citizens if they are in places that poses danger to them. We begin to relocate them.
The government will also provide food and non-food items to the affected.
We'll do whatever it takes. We'll apply all the required resources in terms of money and personnel to make sure that lives are not lost and the people of Kenya are protected from this disaster.
In Nairobi, the flood's death toll has climbed to 13 after 2 more bodies were retrieved from Mathare River. Mathare Valley was the most affected by the floods that swept the area on Wednesday. Local grassroots organization led by Shining Hope for Community have been busy distributing humanitarian aid and help move affected residents to safer places.
Wamepata the best and the necessary assistance.
Still, the effects of rain have left a trail of destruction. Rail transport from Nairobi to Kisumu have been disrupted after a landslide occurred due to heavy rains in Togoto area, Kiambu County.
Hakuna mambo ya drainage imewekwa mzuri sana. Ndio unakuta maji imekuwa diverted, inaingia mahali ambapo haistahili kuingia. Kwa hivyo mambo ya transportation, mambo ya huduma ya reli haiwezi ingia kwa sasa hivi. Mpaka sasa wajue vile watahamisha hii reli waipeleke mahali pengine.
Most places are still flooded with many left with nothing. Some roads too are still impassable.
Tumelala kwa maji, hakuna maji tunaweza kaa, hakuna chochote tunaweza kwa.
The Deputy President said the Multi-Agency Emergency Response Center will be based at Nyayo House under the Ministry of Interior to monitor the flooding situation across the country. Fatma Bogu, NTV.
In business tonight, in the wake of the ever-evolving cybersecurity risky environment, experts in the tech sector have called up for organizations to adopt new tech and tools to stay ahead of attackers. Citing opportunities presented by artificial intelligence and other new tech in combating cyber attacks, organizations have been asked to constantly update technological infrastructure used for security purposes. The experts have equally called on self-regulation and proper communication with staff to advance a culture of awareness against cyber attacks and data privacy and protection.
Because it will always be up. Right now,
we look forward to opening a security operations center. That means smaller companies that cannot afford to build their own SOC services are able to have a managed SOC and protect themselves against cyber attacks, which you've seen in our country have become almost the norm now. The second thing that we've done is we'll be able to open a cybersecurity academy, giving our youth employment, making sure that as they transition from training, get into the academy, offer them jobs in this cybersecurity academy and organization that we are forming.
Our key focus area is around digital transformation. With our OEMs, we are trying to enhance or bring in the offerings that we have in the other countries and help grow the Kenyan digital space. So our focus is really around skills development. So we're focused on the youth development and skills development for the youths, as well as bringing in the new solutions and the new technology offerings into the market.
Now, 6 million registered farmers across the country are set to benefit from the government's agripreneur model that will be rolled out in all 47 counties, aiming to onboard agripreneurs in some 1,355 wards with various extension services. The project has a total of funding of $478 million, which provide opportunities for viable investments to turn around the plight of many Kenyans, especially in rural areas. The funding has been advanced to counties to prioritize investment in promising agricultural production, increasing technologies application in agriculture, and expansion of irrigation investments to increase productivity and production.
And what we are looking at is to support these young people, which is what we're calling agripreneur graduation model. That is, they are not sitting in a classroom and learning. These are practitioners. They have to be closer to their farmers, their customers. It's a three-phased approach, but during these 3 phases, we are facilitating them a small fee so that we encourage them to be in front of the customers, but the sustainability happens through the commissions.
The issue here is money available in the counties to do functions that have been devolved, but which you cannot plan with in line with your CIDP, and which you cannot use to do useful things in view of the various county governments. I think that's the long and short of it. I do hope that we will deliberate on that, and the World Bank and the ministry, together with the counties, hopefully agree on a way to make more out of this money, to use it in a way that's more useful to our counties.
In other news, sugar millers, who are the primary manufacturers of denatured ethanol, have been handed a boost after the government zero-rated the product to shield them from cheaper imports. Zero-rated goods are products that are exempt from value-added taxation. Often goods and services that are zero-rated are those that are considered necessary, such as food items, sanitary products, and animal feeds. Zero rating these items makes them more affordable for lower income consumers. The decision by the state to zero rate ethanol will enable the manufacturers to claim input VAT, thus reducing the cost of making the product and handing the manufacturers a boost against cheap imports. On Wednesday, President William Ruto signed into law the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill of 2024, which amends the VAT Act of 2013 to add denatured ethanol to the list of zero-rated products. So we leave it on business tonight. Time for another quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We still have sports action for you.
Nivea Black and White Deodorant protects me and my favorite outfits. That's why I feel confident and free with 5 times anti-formula. I stay fresh and protected for 48 hours and my clothes stay stain-free. World's #1 anti-stain deodorant from Nivea. Try it. Nivea's 5 times anti-action formula and 48-hour protection is also available for men.
Imperfections, blackheads. Try Garnier's Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, powered by salicylic acid and purified charcoal to reduce pimple-causing germs by 99.5%. One product, 3 uses for a pure skin. Garnier Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, #1 in South Africa, by Garnier Naturally.
Unapocheza Lotomoto, ni wengi wanasaidika. Na ni kwa sababu yako, wengi wasiojiweza wananufaika. Na kwako wewe mchezaji, unajipatia fursa ya kujishindia Toyota Hiace ambaye namtangaza mshindi on the 5th of May. Zidi kucheza Lotomoto, zidi kucheza Lucky Game na uzidi kusaidia jamii ya wasiojiweza kwa ujumla. Matrindi huyu hapa na anakugoja. Dial *524#, chagua option namba 4 na ujingize katika draw ya kuvuka namba 3. Mshindi tunamtangaza 5th of May. Dial *524#, chagua option namba 4. Cheza Lucky Game na tunakuhakikishia ushindi na bahati yako itakufikia mahali popote ulipo. Kumbuka kucheza ni *524#.
I'm sure you're wondering why USIU. The reason why you're coming here is not because you're just getting a degree. You're getting to experience USIU.
It ain't easy to be tough, to stand tall when your legs are about to give up. But being tough is the only option. I am a toughie.
Bata Toughies. Durable and comfortable shoes to match your inner toughness.
If you want to be free and live like a child again, why stress about germs? Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
For an exclusive 3 times skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by Black Carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
Hi there, my name is Dr. George Washuri. I am here to present to you a wonderful place you can build a retirement home. Where else other than Ocean View Ridge, Vipingo by Optiven? This property is well manicured. We have a perimeter wall. We are doing a swimming pool. We just concluded a beautiful entry gate. Only 2 miles to the ocean. Do you want to retire in the coastal region? Call this number 0790 300 300. The best property ever.
NTV Sports News in association with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Dandora Stadium will host a doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday as the venue hosts the quarterfinals of the Mozartbet FKF Cup. In the first quarterfinal pairing, KCB will face off against Kakamega Homeboys at noon Saturday. The Bankers were held to a barren draw by Bandari in their last league fixture. It was a similar scoreline for Homeboys against Shabana, who fired blanks. Kenya Police will have a rematch when they battle Sofapaka in the second quarterfinal. The two sides locked horns last Saturday, with the disciplined forces bagging maximum points with a 2-1 victory.
Na kila timu na kila mchezaji wote anataka kucheza Continental. So tumejiandaa vizuri, na ukiangalia vile vijana na moral na hiyo tournament ndio ile game ya mwisho tulicheza na wale vijana Mombasa Stars. Tulipocheza pia na Posta Rangers, tulikuwa na matumaini makubwa sana. So ukiangalia hii game inakuja, so vijana wako na matumaini. So na wako na moral ya kushinda game.
The knockout matches are very different from league matches. So it's the team which wants it most which will take the day. But for us, we are trying to prepare as well as we can, so that we'll be ready come Saturday, and I think it will be a very different ball game.
Staying with football, Nairobi City Stars head coach Nicholas Moyoti is counting on his charges to finish within the top 5 in the FKF Premier League, with just 7 games remaining on their roster. The team that currently sits 5th on the league table with 45 points, 12 points behind league leaders, and defending champions Gor Mahia has won 2 of its last few matches with an identical scoreline of 3-0, and will be taking on Lindsay when action resumes early next month.
Approach has always been match at a time, and yeah, just looking at a situation whereby going forward we really have to keep our defense very tight, and yeah, like I said, maximize on the opportunities we're getting. I think in terms of play, my boys are now very confident. You can see we're building up well, and I mean, just looking at them play, it's just I can say it's the work that we've done throughout the season, and I'm happy because we are having a very united team, from the officials, the fans, to the players, to the technical staff. I mean, it's been very, very good working with this group of players and management, and we're hoping for a very positive finish.
Rodney Strikers clinched the boys under-13 title as the FKF Youth League winners were crowned Thursday at the Babadogo grounds here in Nairobi. Strikers secured a 1-0 victory over their opponents, Kayole Youngsters, to secure the plaudits. The girls' title was won by SJF, who beat Akafoa Girls by a similar scoreline. The under-15 title for the boys was lifted by Rodney Strikers as they narrowly beat 1,000 Street Sportive 1-0. Ladies Musa overpowered Babadogo TIA 2-0. The youth development program was organized by FKF across Babadogo, Kayole, Mukuru, Mbotela, and Starehe.
We have trained 8,000 coaches in the last 6 years. Those coaches now are the ones training these kids. So it's a combination of time and doing something deliberately. You know, having the teachers certifying them over time, showing them what football is about, how they can go about teaching a small kid.
Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp apologized to fans of Liverpool after a 2-0 loss to Everton in the Merseyside derby, which all but extinguished their faint hopes of winning the Premier League title. Gerard Branthwaite and Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored in a victory that will not soon be forgotten by the Everton faithful at Goodison Park.
I really feel for the people. I'm really sorry for that, obviously. That's how it is. People told me so often about the great record, and before the derby, especially when you hear, but you never win here, and all these kind of things. But we never lost, and it feels really different. I really apologize for that. It absolutely was unnecessary, but it happened. You can't change it anymore. Now we have to recover, because the quickest of all turnarounds is waiting for us.
NTV Sports News, in association with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion.
For an exclusive 3-time skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep, powered by Black Carbon, for 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
That Liverpool loss was very good news to Man City and Arsenal fans. And as Arsenal fans, we say, Sisi kama Brighton. And on that note, we leave it there for NTV Tonight. For all of us, thank you for watching. Be sure to to grab us every Thursday for this edition of NTV Tonight. I am Ben Kitili. Good night from my own.
Enjoy Guru Special Basmati Rice 5 kg at 945 shillings. Kafu Vegetable Oil 5 liters at 999 shillings. Fresh Chicken Leg Bone in 5 kg at 599 shillings. Onion Red at 165 shillings. Higher Android TV 43 at 26,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Kafu.
Kuna 1.1 million Kenyan shillings mahali hapa. Yote ndani ya shamba hili, na tarehe 28 mwezi huu wa Aprili, draw ya kujishindia shamba hili inafanyika. Unaitaka? Dial star 570 hash. Chagua option ya kuvuka na chake pekee. Cheza mara kadhaa, imarisha ushindi wako kwa kujaza tiketi zako kwenye draw. Title deed yako tunaitransfer papa hapa. Plot yako iko kwenye star 570 hash. Kalamu yako ya sahihi ndio hii na makasi yako ndio hii. Buka na shake!
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The Power Duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
If you want to be free and live like a child again, why stress about germs? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Crazy offers. Save up to 180 bob. Buy now at a store near you.
Everyone can be an expert in his or her field. You can be an expert in all analytics. You know who will be the next star of the season. You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
On March 30th, the world marked World Bipolar Day, a day set aside to raise awareness about this mood disorder that is associated with mental illness. Here in Kenya, those living with bipolar marked that day here in Nakuru County. I spent some time with the people living with bipolar, and here are their stories.
Naitwa Robert Kinyua Kabue na ninaishi Nakuru, pahali panaitwa Freehold, na nimelelewa Njoro na nimekuja Nakuru miaka 1985. Na baada ya kukaa, mimi na mke wangu tulikuwa tunakuwa na shida kiasi na sikujua nina shida, lakini sasa mwaka wa 1994 nikakuwa diagnosed na bipolar 2 na nikapelekwa medical, nikatibiwa, nikakaa miezi mitatu, alafu nikatoka. Sasa ikawa kila baada ya miezi mitatu nimeingia kule, na sikuwa nimeelewa ni nini. Ilikuwa ni ukosaji wa usingizi na kula chakula, upungufu wa appetite, kukosa appetite na irritability, kuwa na hasira na kusikia kama kila mtu ananiona kama mimi ni mwenda azimu, na kutembea sana na pengine kuongea sana, na pengine unasikia ukifurahia unafurahia sana, ukikasirika umekasirika sana. Sasa hiyo beyond ndio ilikuwa inaleta hiyo shida, lakini nilipoelezwa na daktari na nikafundishwa kukaa, nikakaa. Lakini baadaye, baada ya miaka mingi, nimekuja kujifahamu na kufahamu ya kwamba huu ni ugonjwa kama zile magonjwa mengine, na huwa inaweza kutritiwa ama kuwa managed, sababu kama wakati ule wa kwanza ulikuwa unameza hata dawa zaidi ya 5 na Cosmos, dawa ya kuzuia matatizo ya ulimi na masus. Lakini wakati huu simezi hizo, ninamezaga moja usiku na sindano pengine baada ya miezi mitatu. I manage kwa sababu hata dawa zile ninapewa na counseling ile ninaenda, maybe after 3 months I usually go. I shall visit. Inastahili wajue na wajulishwe, waende waelimishwe jinsi ya kutreat, jinsi ya kucontain na jinsi ya kujiunderstand, kujielewa. Unapojielewa hata ukiambia ukunywe dawa, unajua uambiwe kwa sababu wanakuhate. They still love you and they know you and they understand you, na pengine kuna kitu wanaona wewe uone. Unajua mtu hata wanasema kinyozi ya jinyoe.
The burden of mental illness is not just for the patient, but it's also for the immediate community. And so caregivers still play an important role with the care of this disorder.
Kwa majina naitwa Teresia Wanjiko na naishi hapa Nakuru kwa mtaa unaitwa Mawanga. Siku imagine mtoto wangu anaweza gonjeka, kisa kwa kinywa chake mwenyewe kuna staff alisema ametumia kitu tujawahi ona na tukuwaifikiria. So daktari wakatuambia hii staff ndio imechangia, na kulingana na wao hii Nakuru, kulingana na venye wanatibu wagonjwa, hii staff inachanganywa na heroin, ni bangi. Mimi nilijua 2021 akiwa form 4, ni wale walimaliza April iliyo 2021. Akiwa hiyo form 4 ya that term, alianza kuongea sana. Anaongea nyamazi, anaongea na anakuwa na, mnaona si yeye, si kawaida, hii kuongea imevuka mpaka. So si utaona hizi vitu zile mtoto wako anafanya si za kawaida. Sasa hapo ndo tulichukua step ya kumpeleka hospitali pale PGH Nakuru. Hata siku anajua kama kuna anaweza pona. Nilikuwa naona sasa mtoto wangu ataishingi hivi. Sasa hizi nikipata mtu mwenye mtoto wake anapitia hiyo hali, kitu ya kwanza namwambiaga akuwe mpole na mwepesi wa mdomo. Kwa sababu sasa ile unawatukana ama unampigia kelele, unatrigger sasa huyu mtu ni wa mood disorder, na sasa ile unampigia kelele yeye anapandanga kukushinda. Lakini sasa ile unamsikiza kwanza, hata kama hizo story wanaita za ajabu, anakuleteanga tu stories zingine zingine hata unaelewi, hebu sikiza uone vile wanafurahia na mtapelekana vizuri. Ni ugonjwa wenye gharama. Umepeleka mtoto wako hospitali, ndio umelipa baka NHIF, amefika ni wa kuadmitiwa. Unajua lazima ulipe cash money ya admission. Juu wagonjwa wa kiakili ni wanagonjeka vitofauti, ni 7,500 mchana. Ukienda jioni kuanzia 5 ni 10,000, ama weekend ama holiday. Ugonjwa umekupatia mahali popote. Sasa wakati mwingine saizi maisha ni ngumu, kuna hiyo pesa na mtu amegonjeka. Unajua watu wanaachiliwa ndio mpaka unaona wanaanza kula makaratasi juu ni pesa ilikosa, angesaidika. Tukifika pale ukwe huna hiyo pesa, unajua hawezi kuadmitiwa na maybe ni violent, umeambiwa urudi na yeye nyumbani. In case urudi na huyo mtu, zimuonyeshe, chukua panga ukatakate, chukua ama ua. Daktari kama hao wafikiwe na ripoti, ama hata serikali ati huyo mtoto alikuwa amepelekwa hospitali akakosa kuadmitiwa juu hakukukua pesa, sasa ameua. Hiyo jambo wataichukuliaje? Hiyo ndio jambo moja niliona wana ignore.
Imagine being a doctor and at the same time being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Dr. Patrick Boruet shares his experience.
I was first diagnosed with bipolar in June 2011. And at the time, I lived in denial actually for quite a while, close to, I would say, 5 years. I didn't accept my diagnosis. That made it difficult to follow through in terms of treatment. It made it difficult to go for appointments. And I paid the price in that it costed me in terms of career progression, in terms of finances, in terms of relationships. And at that time, I was able to access information mainly from the West. And what helped me at that time when I was really feeling low was the testimonies of other people who shared their lived experiences. And that sparked the interest in me when I moved from denial to acceptance to start Bipolar Heroes Foundation. Began by marking World Bipolar Day at the Arboretum in Nairobi in the year 2019. That was really a turning point for me because for the first time I was able to meet people in our local setting who are going through the same. And I believe in amplifying the stories of people with lived experience, because when we share our experiences, then we are able to help others to use our lessons as survival skills to come out of the difficulties that this condition can bring. Despite knowing so much about conditions, the moment you are diagnosed with it, you sort of wear the heart of a patient. And that is missed out sometimes. So you will find yourself, people telling you as you know it, they assume you know it. So you miss an opportunity to even be guided on some aspects. But I must say it is a condition that is treatable. It can be managed. And actually our vision is a world where people living with bipolar are able to realize their full potential. So with us, we've been able to have support groups, mainly online. And occasionally we do physical meetings where we bring together caregivers, those with lived experience, and mental health advocates. And we've been able to mark World Bipolar Day in Kenya for the 4th time now. And that has really been one of our landmark events of bringing together stakeholders to have conversations around bipolar disorder. That helps us now to raise awareness and ensure that we fight to reduce the stigma that is associated with the condition. Well, the biggest gap has been in terms of human resource, that is in terms of the psychiatrists, both at consultant level and at the lower level, because we have nurses and clinical officers who specialize in psychiatry. So both levels, I would say, we don't have adequate numbers. The same applies to the psychologists. And you'll find also the concentration of the experts is mainly in the cities. So you'll find in the rural setups, the numbers are on the lower side. So that means access to service is not optimal. Let us work towards ensuring that what is required at every level is available, because it's frustrating sometimes when you seek services, you get the consultation, you get everything, but then you miss out on the essential medicines. Then the other key gap is issues of awareness. And that's at all levels, at the community, where we can actually invest more in prevention. And I'm glad when you look at the national movement now, we are actually focusing more on prevention, which is the way to go. If we can invest in our promoters and help them understand, they can be able to identify and refer these cases early enough. So those are opportunities that are coming at this time. But I must say, My employer then was quite good. I didn't experience any form of serious discrimination. If anything, I was given more responsibilities. I was able to serve until when my contract came to an end. But in terms of colleagues, there would be that, silent talk. If people relate differently, so those challenges come in, and it's because of lack of understanding. Or you'll give an input, and somebody would wonder, is he okay today? And that can really hurt. The main thing that really helps me is to be able to know the early warning signs. Lack of sleep is a big trigger. Yeah, but I try, and you see, the moment you are not on regular medication, then it means you become more vulnerable to the stresses of life. Yeah, so managing the stresses is really a very, very key step, very important step. And getting good family support, that is very, very important.
Nakuru County is among 15 other public health facilities that are currently in a pilot program that will see them report on mental health incidences differently. This means that they'll have a record of every mental health disorder within those 15 public health facilities. This is one way Kenya is trying to transform its mental health reporting, and this data will be important on how the country deals with mental health. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
This is NTV.
Apply now and begin your journey to transformative leadership in your area of training. Simply log on to www.parkuniversity.ac.ke.
Park University, where leaders are made.
We can't wait to hear your story. No story is too big or too small. Build your story with an Absa One account. Earn 10% interest per annum on your savings. Download the Absa Kenya app to open an account. Your story matters.
Next time, please, don't visit me without letting me know. It's too dangerous for you to be here.
You're unbelievable, JC. You're softening up.
They are still my
Your
parents.
parents who lied to your face as a kid, and not just you, JC, but your brother too. Have you forgotten that?
I hear it was quite the operation against Nestor Almazan. Congratulations.
It's too early to congratulate us, Ulysses. We still haven't caught the head of the syndicate, the real leader of them all, because it wasn't Nestor.
So where will you go after this?
I'm just about to text my friend. Where will you go?
I'm just going to wait for my husband right here. He's going to pick me up. My husband's arrived.
Fists of fate.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the hot bud? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
No bunga next week no mystery.
Only on the trend. 10 p.m.
The Trend, in association with DSTV and GoTV.
You let me focus on the fashion and you focus on the business, hey?
This is Shanga, Beauty and the Beats, starting 25th April at 8 p.m. exclusively on Maisha Magic Plus.
Nakujua kama mke wako ni mjamzito kweli au ananifanyia drama.
Anakaa mtu sahi, ngoja. Ndio huyo.
Wenyewe. Hodi.
Nyinyi. Mmekuja kufuata nini?
Nataka kujua umetoa wapi pesa za kulipia hii nyumba.
Alisha wangu amenitumia kutoka mbinguni.
Sister-in-law wako.
Nani wa nani? Tangu lini? Ninemtambua alikufa.
Stacy. Like I care.
Q, in association with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin.
This is indeed a walk for a brighter future. Every stride raises funds for the Alumni Scholarship Fund, a beacon of hope for deserving students in need.
This was murder.
Hiyo mwili ilikuwa imekatakatwa. Kwanza nakumbukaga vidole ya left ingine hakukuwa.
Akaongea kwa machozi. Sasa wakati kesi ilianza, akatoa tena ushahidi tofauti.
Wakamkamata, wakamkatakata. Mwenye mbuzi akasema ako na nguvu sana, kateni yeye mguu. Nilishtuka sana.
We were given a few minutes to send money. If we are not sending money, then her life will be taken away.
Sakiti yenye alikuwa nayo alikuja nayo hapa. Hizi tu hata kufika tu kwake ngumu.
Bari ameuawa wapi? Ameuawa aje?
Don't just start looking for the murderers from out there. Vile Waswahili wanasema kikulacho kiguoni mwako.
This week on Crossover, we shed a light on artists who are making an impact straight from the diaspora.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kanji Mbugua, and I'm so excited to tell you this. This Sunday, I'm going to be live on Crossover.
Nifungue macho yangu we baba. What's up, my people? This is your boy Silas Murder right here, all the way from United States of America. Just to let you know, I'll be live on Crossover Show on NTV this Sunday.
Join us as we journey through muziki kali sana ya Pambio Worship right here from Kenya.
So let's meet this Sunday for great conversation and amazing music from 11:30 to 1 p.m. only on NTV. And this is Crossover.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable